reminds you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you'll ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600. Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
The best of the best event at Peter's Clothiers is this Friday and Saturday only. Select from the best designers in the world, such as Samuelson, the best value in custom clothing. Also custom Zegna cloth, the best fabric for sports coats. Come in to Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game, and tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Join 96.5 The Fan and Bud Light for the Fans Football Show with Mitchell Schwartz and Jay Binkley every Thursday in September starting at 6 at participating Buffalo Wild Wings locations. Enjoy $5 talls, prizes, and Chiefs gear. For a list of locations, go to 965thefan.com. Listen to the Chiefs and Saints game on Monday Night Football with pregame starting at 4. Kickoff just after 7 with Mitch, Danan, and Kling. Right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNZ FM and AM. HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey sports station.
And there's a ground ball through that pulled-in infield, and it's 1-0 Royals as Massey scores. So there you are. You take advantage of all four infielders in for a play at the plate.
And the pitch. Swinging a line drive. One hop to Junior. He backhands. Long throw. Got him. And Ramon Urias, who was the runner at third, crosses home plate and smashes his helmet into the ground. And that about sums it up for the Orioles. The 1-1. Junior, it's a ground ball up the middle, and that is going to be a diving play by Urias. Throw to first on a bounce is late. And Bobby Witt Jr. reaches with an infield single, so no great play on the infield this time to beat him to first base. And Bobby Witt Jr. with an infield single drives in Kyle Isbell, and the Royals take a 2-1 lead.
Brings the count down to 1-2 strikes, and a swing and a miss, and the Royals are going to advance.
Hey guys, now we go!
On to the ALDS in New York on Saturday. Welcome in. It's Cody and Gold on a Thursday. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Back in studio today. We've had a fun couple days hanging out with all of you, watching some Royals baseball, and I think everybody is all in finally. Maybe there was a few of you out there who were still skeptical. How can you not be all in after this team takes care of business in Baltimore and sets up an American League Divisional Series, now guaranteeing at least one home game, as a matter of fact, during a 5-game series against the Yankees and the Royals. The first team in MLB history to lose 100 games in 1 year come around the other way the next season with a playoff series victory. Unbelievable, really, honestly. It is an unbelievable sequence of events for this last year for the Royals, and to go and handle business in Baltimore was sensational yesterday yet again with unreal pitching.
That's what it really boils down to, is that the Royals are in the ALDS because they gave up one singular run in 2 games to the Baltimore Orioles, including not a single run out of the bullpen and only 1 run out of Seth Lugo, who only ended up going 4 1/3 last night. But who cares? Q pulled the right trigger. Everything worked out. And then we're talking about a team heading to the ALDS again, which goes back to the same thing we said, like when they started this thing. For whatever reason it is, I don't care if it's the punishment we have to take for 10 years of watching the Royals flail around having no success. The second they're actually in the playoffs, y'all better watch your ass. Because once the Royals get in, well, then it's no holds bar and anything can happen. And the Royals like proving that point to the rest of baseball every time they find themselves in the postseason. And the Orioles learn the hard way in a 2-game sweep. And I hope the Yankees have to start learning the hard way on Saturday.
Right. I mean, the same way we wanted the Orioles here when we talked about potential wild card matchups. We wanted the Orioles because that was a team that wasn't playing great. That was a team that you had an advantage in pitching. And boy, oh boy, did even more so than we ever thought that they had an advantage in pitching in that series. And now I think the same thing applies to the Yankees, who have been sitting around for, by the time we get to Saturday, it'll be like 9 days or so between their games of really playing some baseball. There's no way they want a piece of the Kansas City Royals.
I wouldn't.
There is no freaking way after watching the way this starting pitching and in particular the bullpen went out there. Bobby Witt Jr. with 2 game-winning hits in his first 2 postseason games, which puts him in historic company as well. He's one of only 2 players in history to drive in that game-winning run in 2 straight games. I mean, this
pretty
is
good company. Jimmy Fox, his photo's in black and white, in case you're curious the last time that happened.
This is a dangerous team, and we'll talk about the offense. Hey, can they win a series with this offense hitting this way? I get that. Or there's a conversation to be had. But this is a really dangerous team. Denny Matthews last night on the call on 96.5 The Fan was talking about beware if you're the Yankees. You know, you got to basically be careful taking on this team now with the momentum that they have, the confidence this young bunch of Royals have, and the pitching is going out there and just been flat out dominant. And I think there's so many different things to discuss, and we'll take your calls throughout the show today, guys, 913-586-7965. But to not give up a single run, this bullpen, it was one thing after the first game, 1-0 victory. But now to go and only give up 1 run yesterday, the bullpen, not a single run, but 1 run period. That was not the formula any of us saw throughout this magical regular season. It was going to be, at one point we thought, relying on offense, relying on starting pitching. Well, so far it has been relying on starting pitching, but even more relying on the bullpen, which would have been the biggest reason why we all thought at one point this season, majority of the season, that they were going to get eliminated.
Up until 1 week ago, I told you it was the reason why I assume we'll have to watch them exit the playoffs, and it's been the exact opposite of that. Anyone else, and I know this is an analogy we use for other things, anyone else just assume it's like Happy learned to putt? I mean, that's the analogy, right? It's like, oops. And you're like, hey, what the hell? I thought your bullpen was better. You're like, oh, Royals learned to use the bullpen. And you're like, oh no. Oh, we don't need that. The last time the Royals had a bullpen in the playoffs, it was a nightmare. And look, they had to go deeper into it yesterday. It wasn't just the 4 guys we've talked about. It wasn't just Long and Urseg and Bubic. They were using Schreiber and Zerpa.
How great was he?
In the bases loaded jam. He had good stuff last night. They were using everybody. It wasn't just one guy. It was they had to go deeper into the pin than they've gone in a while, and everybody was nails. And maybe some of this is like pushing the right buttons. A lot of this is just, I can't believe they had made it this far based on where you would have the season ended last year. I remember those, a year ago yesterday was when we were on the final day of the Royal season. You and I did a watch party at Hollywood Casino with Vinny for the Jets game.
That's right.
And a whole bunch of Royals showed up. MJ was there, and Bobby Witt Jr., and a bunch of other, and Vinny, and a bunch of other guys from the team showed up. And we had just gotten done watching the clips being like, it's tough to end the season this way. And we thought it should have gone, and they'd won 56 games. And you're like, oof, I don't know what this season's going to be, but hopefully better than 56. I'll be honest, no chance I thought they'd be in the ALDS at this point. But now, I think anything's possible.
Of course.
I think they can win the World Series.
That's the beautiful thing about October baseball. How many times, though, did we say, look at the Diamondbacks from a year ago? Look at the Diamondbacks for all the talk. Hey, they're not beating the good enough teams. They're just beating up on the White Sox, which they did. But their record against quality teams, their record against the Orioles, their record against the Yankees. So now all of that. Those were all points people brought up, and I guess fair at the time, but also like this is why it doesn't matter. You get in the dance, And in a short series, a best of 3, and still coming up a best of 5, it's still not a 7-game series. You can still set up your rotation in a great way because you handled your business yesterday. You're going to be able to go, and they announced already their game 1, game 2 starters. You can go Waka and Reagans in game 1, game 2 Reagans in the Bronx.
Yep.
It's a beautiful way to set up the series again, and that's why they've got a shot to do something special again in this series. When we get playoff baseball, not just back with the Royals, but playoff baseball back in Kansas City. That was what I really wanted, man. It was awesome to be in the dance again, but I wanted this city to have a playoff game again.
Same.
I wanted to be able to go to Kauffman Stadium, and as you said, maybe for one of the final few times to have a postseason game there over the next 5-6 years or whatever, depending on, well, no matter what happens with the site, we know that will be it in 2030, 31. So that moment, and even watching some of the other games last night, late game was the Milwaukee game against the Mets.
That one was exciting.
They have a best of 3. They have a game 3 tonight. But seeing the energy in their stadium, the rally towels, I can't wait to see that aerial shot coming live to Kauffman Stadium on Wednesday night with hopefully a chance to clinch the series and hopefully, maybe it's split, who knows, against the Yankees. That's what I cannot wait for. But you said it about the long shot stuff. This team was 10,000 to 1.
So if I bet $100 on them, I'd have a chance to win $1 million?
I believe that would be right. That's the right math, right? 10,000 to 1 at one point to win the World Series back at the beginning of the year. Only 4 teams had worse odds, like the A's and the White Sox were some of those teams. And here they are currently 12 to 1, 14 to 1, depending on what book you're looking at to win the World Series.
I think yesterday's game highlights a lot of why I think the Royals do better in postseason baseball than a lot of other teams. Because the Orioles, and yeah, their upcoming opponent, the Yankees, winning what I think are traditional 162 games away. Put the ball over the fence a lot.
Yeah.
Hit a lot of homers. Make some errors, but they make up for it. They got good pitching staffs, but they don't have to be dominant, right? Because they play in certain stadiums, et cetera, et cetera. Yesterday, the game-deciding plays were an infield single from Bobby Witt Jr. that eventually led to the game-winning RBI because he's so fast he can't get it. A diving stop by Michael Massey in the most critical moment to keep any runs from scoring there. And a strikeout by Angel Zerpa on a ball that was going to hit a dude in the chest.
Yeah, that was crazy, that sequence there.
The most pivotal plays in the entire game were the oddball ones. And that's what seems like goes the Royals' way in these situations. The plays that aren't guarantees, the plays that aren't the standard, the normal, the everyday plays. The Massey's got to make this, Bobby's got to be faster, and this guy's just got to try not to swing at a pitch that's coming at him. But he couldn't, and they couldn't hold up, and the Orioles suffered the fate, as a lot of teams have suffered against the Royals in the postseason when they get there. And then that's how we're back in the LDS. From the Kauffman stuff. Can't wait. The ticket prices, I will tell you, you could have bought a ticket to get into the stadium a week ago for a very nominal fee. Perfectly normal.
Right through the Royals.
Right through Royals.com for a very normal price. I want you to know that if you're like, what's the atmosphere going to be like or how sold out is this game going to be? The get-in price to sit in the bleeds of Kauffman Stadium will set you back at least a couple $100. At least. The Orioles, I saw someone I know sat lower level for $30 for that wild card game. I know Kansas City's better than that. That's why this city deserves playoff baseball. When we get it, we thrive. We live in it. It's the greatest moment of our lives, and I hope that continues.
And the vibes in Baltimore heading into the series, that was a team that was disappointing them. They won 100-plus a year ago. They did not play well down the stretch. Yes, it was afternoon baseball. Yes, it was cloudy and all that. All that contributed to a fan base.
Cloudy. What a sad excuse.
All that was a fan base that was not excited about their baseball team there in Baltimore. And it's obviously complete opposite, not to mention we're around further. I have no doubt Kauffman is going to be incredible on Wednesday. And if they need a fifth game or a fourth game, I guess, on Thursday, then that's when a game 4 would be in the series. And I agree with the text line. We'll have plenty of time to talk about the Yankees in particular in actual matchups. Fern's going to join us again a little bit later on today, next hour actually. But this weekend, it's all about just to get a split. That's all you're looking for. Get a split. Come back home with a split, and then you still would have a chance to even clinch it at home. I mean, that's
one
all
of the best home teams in baseball all
for.
Year. Might as well maintain. Your stadium benefits you more than it benefits the Yankees. It's harder to get. Aaron Judge. We've all looked up the home run numbers. Aaron Judge would have like 9 more home runs than Bobby Witt Jr. if he played every game at Kauffman Stadium, and Bobby Witt Jr. did. So, for whatever his home run totals were this year, know that they're 60% of that if he played in a real ballpark, not a joke. And so if you can get it to 1-1 and then come back home, you've got a massive advantage in evening up this series and then giving yourself a chance to do it. I like that we have a new batch of Royals to love. That's what part of what made 14 and 15 so special is the only Royals players I cared about were like Bo Jackson and George Brett. And George Brett was like, I was still pretty young, right? Then other than that, all the Royals players I cared about, I told you, were on bad teams. Now, you and I can enjoy the fact that Michael Massey, a guy who's been on the team for only a couple of years, is making diving stops. Or I don't care if Vinny Pasquantino's earning $200 worth of Taco Bell, Gold. We can appreciate all the little fun playoff stories that come out of this stuff.
I saw the Taco Bell order. Look, why not? Why not?
Only 30 sauces is my only question. Seemed like the ratio of food to sauce
Depends what you order, man. Depends on what you order.
What do you mean it depends what you order? You need sauce for anything you order at Taco Bell.
Yeah, but if you're getting are you getting the burritos? Or are you getting the taco? I think not all the tacos. You don't always have to have the taco sauce on the tacos. Just kind of depends, man. Where they get a little of the the cheesy roll up crunch wrap stuff. It just depends. $200 at Taco Bell. That's some serious damage. That is some serious damage. I saw the name on the Uber Eats order. It said Vance N. Now I don't know if that's a staff member or that's one of the fake names that they use.
Yeah.
For the Uber orders, but I did see that someone said they got the Royals at what was that? Would that be 20 plus 25,000? So what's that? 250 to 1. I still think I've messed up the wording of the Royals odds there. So they were plus 10,000. Not 10,000 to 1. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, plus
10,000.
Okay, so I wouldn't win $1 million.
Yeah, I said that.
They
wrong.
weren't
Plus,
really
plus 10,000, not 10,000 to 1. Yeah.
That's a slightly different ratio.
Yes.
Now that would still mean I would win $10,000, which I would still be interested in, or $100,000, I guess, depending on the amount you wagered. But still, the point is they were a massive, 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 massive long shot. They were not supposed to be here. You and I had said before, getting to the playoffs made this season a win, and the same thing applies. The Yankees have not just a little more pressure on them, infinitely, 100 times, 1,000,000 times more pressure. They haven't won a World Series since A-Rod was on their roster. Do you know how long ago that's been? Plus, this does give me unfettered access tomorrow to just really hammer home the Derek Jeter's overrated point. You know what? Been a long time.
What does Jeter have to do with this team?
Been a long time since we saw the old Yankees in the postseason. Old Jeets feels like he could get a couple of shots fired here.
This one, see, Jeter to me has nothing to do with this. You want to bring up the 70s or 80s and go back to some of the punches being thrown and things like that with Brett and Patek, et cetera. Sure. Jeter itself, the Royals and Jeter didn't have a whole lot of showdowns. You know what I mean? There was more 70s, 80s. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, over our favorite stat, I think, anytime we talk Yankees as it relates to Kansas City baseball.
Who has a World Series more recently?
Is the last decade, the last 20 years, and like all the money that they have spent and all the talk about the Yankees, and they really haven't shown much. But you're 100% right. The Yankees have all the pressure, even more than what we discussed with the Orioles. The Yankees are the favorites right now to win the World Series. The Yankees manager, Aaron Boone, will be fired if they lose this series. Aaron Judge, I was talking with Bob and Dusty. I was on their show talking betting, but Bob brought up the point, and I think he's right. It's the most pressure is on Aaron Judge, period, maybe of any player in sports right now, period. If you consider how great he is, but also he hasn't taken that team to a championship. Like there's just so much more pressure on the New York Yankees. And there's still, I think, the disrespect factor that they look at. I still believe their fans, that city looks at Kansas City, and they don't respect us at all.
I agree.
I don't think they respect us at all, and that's why I can't wait for this game on Saturday, and I can't wait for the Royals to kick their ass throughout this series and to get to an ALCS and put them in their place. That's what I'm excited about. And, of course, the games are right here on Saturday, 96.5 The Fan. And on Monday, you'll hear the game on The Fan AM because, of course, Chiefs football. Monday night's going to be incredible.
Home of the Chiefs, so you don't have to go anywhere. On 96.5 The Fan, you'll hear the Chiefs. And over on 610 AM The Fan, you will hear the Royals. Drew, just out of curiosity, before we talk about Bobby Wood Jr. some more, the last time the Yankees won the World Series was 2009. 15 years ago. It was also the last World Series they went to. How old? What were you doing in 2009?
2009, I would have been just turning 14.
Okay. I was graduating high school in 09.
Graduating high school. How long ago does that feel?
That's a very long time.
I was in 8th grade in 2009.
The Yankees have only been to 2 World Series in the last 21 years. They went to one in 2003, and then they went to that one in 2009. The Royals have been to 2 World Series in the last 20 years. Like, I mean, they have not been the old Yankees. They get to, like, hang up the trophies the way, like, I think other, like, NCAA tournament teams, basketball programs don't matter anymore. Like, I'm really proud of you, Indiana, for all those titles in the aughts. No one cares anymore. The Yankees haven't been playoff relevant in 15 years. They haven't even been in a World Series in 15 years. So, yeah, they lose to the Royals on this one, a team who's been to 2 World Series in that time. Embarrassing.
The other thing out of this Orioles series, I think case closed, and it almost looks foolish now to look back at the Bobby Witt versus Gunnar Henderson.
Oh, yeah, that was like a mid-season debate. That was so stupid.
During the All-Star break, the All-Star game, Gunnar was the starter in the All-Star game over Bobby, and I get it. At that point in time, Gunnar's numbers were really, really impressive. But now it looks foolish. It's not even close. Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the top 2 or 3 baseball players in baseball, period, right now. It's not close. Shohei Ohtani, when he's pitching, he is the best player in baseball because he's a two-way player. Other than that, it's Bobby Witt Jr. That's the answer.
Yep.
And we're going to talk bigger picture with the city here in 12 minutes with both the Chiefs and the Royals. But think about that. That was an actual storyline and debate earlier was, man, Bobby Witt Jr., would you rather have Gunnar Henderson or Bobby Witt Jr.? I don't know, but Gunnar Henderson should be starting the All-Star game, and he did over Bobby Witt Jr. How foolish does that look? They shut down all the stars, by the way, in that Orioles lineup. I mean, you go through.
They went like 3 for 700, I feel like, in the series.
Gunnar was 0 for 7. Jordan Westbrook, 1 for 6. Santander, 1 for 8. Colton Cowser, 1 for 7. Adley Rutschman, 1 for 8. And that was the 1 through 5 hitters for the Orioles.
I hope that what this series turns into, or this playoff run turns into, is Bobby Witt Jr.'s play version of what Patrick Mahomes used to do to all the people who dissed him. In this series, he got to take down the guy who got selected number 1 overall above him and be like, sucks to be you. He got to take down the shortstop, right? And be like, I'm better than you, sorry. Next up will be the guy who's going to win the MVP over him. Mm-hmm. And Aaron Judge will be like, you know what? I feel like sticking it to you too. I hope this becomes the Bobby Witt redemption tour. And not that he needs that, but just like the tour to take everybody down who somehow ended up being selected ahead. It's his version of counting to 8 because Mitchell Trubisky was taken ahead of him. Whatever it is, we've already gotten a little taste of that because the Baltimore Orioles series gave you 2 things all at once. And those stats become even more relevant. More wins than Shohei Ohtani, more wins than Mike Trout, more wins than Aaron Judge, more wins than some great players in postseason series because some of those players haven't made it, and when they have made it, they've stunk. He has made it to 2 postseason games, and he's been the game-winning RBI in both. In both games, he was the difference.
He's one of 2 players ever to do that. So it's not just winning. It's what you said there at the end. It's that he was responsible for the game-winning hits and game-winning RBI. Like that's what's remarkable. Props, by the way, also to the Royal social media team. They absolutely crushed it in terms of firing back at the Baltimore Orioles. You guys may have seen this earlier at the beginning of the series. The Orioles put out a tweet that said, the show's about to begin, and it said, seats taken, and it was like a throne, right? Like the throne. And the Royals responded with, you come for the crown, you best not miss. And it's the graphic of Bobby now sitting in what was the empty chair, and it has seats taken and seats crossed off with blue. It's a great job by the Royal social media team.
They were sitting on that one, huh?
Of course they were. They were ready.
They cooked there. I think that's fair to say. They absolutely destroyed the Baltimore Orioles social media team on that one, which good for them. Ray Gunn already put out a shirt because you can't blame him for that. You and I are both wearing. No, you're wearing a Charlie Hustle shirt.
This is a hey.
Yeah, and I'm wearing a Ray Gunn. The vibes are great.
The vibes are great. I mean,
this is inarguable at the moment.
The vibes are certainly great. The vibes were great. Once again, thank all of you that went out to Jefferson's the last 2 days. We had a blast out there, so thanks to them for hosting us, but thanks to all of you. Yesterday, I'll be honest, the energy was even better throughout the entire game. Day 1, I thought, wow, really great crowd, great environment, and it was. Yesterday, not just at the very end when they ultimately clinched, but throughout that game, there was a little more juice. And there was a few more blue refreshers, a few more rally shots, I think, were happening yesterday. I think they ran out of Coors Light at one point.
Again?
I think.
Oh, yeah, we tapped the keg.
Like the 6th inning. Or
it wasn't
even that long. I tried to get maybe my second beer, and I had to switch.
It was a great time. We can't wait. We were going to be out, I believe, at Kauffman Stadium for at least that one home game, if not, if needed. We'll have more details maybe next week and on Monday and everything, but that's the plan, man. And you look at the remaining teams. We know there's still one series that has to be decided on the National League side, the Brewers and the Mets, and that was a great game last night. I can't wait to watch Game 3 of that and the energy and the stress, basically, I'm sure that Brewers and Mets fans are feeling. But also, the American League Central has 3 teams in the ALDS. Guardians are going to take on
the Central all leading up to the year.
Yeah.
Trash division.
Yeah, it was like, oh, man, you don't have to win 90 games to win this division. It stinks. Well, 3 teams made it.
Almost a fourth.
Look, the White Sox are terrible, but maybe, just maybe, they were historically bad because the Tigers, Guardians, and Royals are also pretty darn good. 3 teams in the Central. We're guaranteed at least one AL Central team to make it to the ALCS. We could have an all ALCS AL Central, if that makes sense.
More than anything, this speaks to why I think the Royals might be better than outsiders think. Because now if you take the entire picture into fold, the Minnesota Twins only missed the playoffs by a few games. And as of a month ago, Gold, they were the top wild card team or the second wild card team. They were as good as just about any other playoff team in the American League. So if you look at the Royals and you're like, well, let's talk about the problems they had throughout the year. When the offense went through a lull or when the bullpen struggled. Well, it might have turned out for them, not just the White Sox, that the Royals were up in the best division in all of baseball. And because these teams have been tested, the Guardians, the Royals, the Tigers, they were kind of better fit for a postseason run because they've been having to fight for their lives the entire year. Everyone thought the AL East was going to be the division with 3 playoff teams. They got 2. The Central was the one with actually 3 in it. I mean, that speaks to how difficult the division was.
Going forward, too. I mean, think bigger picture. I know we're all focused in right now. We'll worry about some of that stuff in the offseason. But it's important for the Royals with where they're at in their organization. You look, the Tigers aren't going anywhere. They're a young team.
Yep.
The Guardians always just seemingly are competitive because of their pitching, and then the Twins, Twins might reset. I don't know what they're going to do this offseason. But yeah, the Central it's going to be more challenging for years to come than we thought, and that's why also another reason to capitalize right now while you're in it. And you get the big bad New York Yankees on Saturday night in the Bronx. Cannot wait. Seth Lugo, yesterday to win when he wasn't his best. Also makes you feel almost better about the situation.
And they quick triggered it. Well, to win when he's not his best means. Do I think Lugo's not going to be his best 2 times in a row? No, I thought I'll take the odds that Lugo's probably a lot better the next time. All that just makes me feel more confident in the following series.
Are you getting a little nervous? So the Royals are in the American League Divisional Series. They're 12-1 to win the World Series. Way back when we had a discussion on this show, and you said what? You said you were willing to get a tattoo if the Royals get to the World Series or win.
So
get to the World Series?
I looked up the date on this. April 12th. April 12th. Do you know how long ago that was in this? That's 6 months ago. It was no risk six months ago. This is what I said. All right, the Royals win the World Series this year.
Okay.
That's tattooed on my body.
Who gives a bleep? We're winning
games.
Okay.
I will tattoo my very first tattoo in the history of my life. That will go on my body if the Royals win the World Series this year. I mean, I can't deny any part of the words being said there.
Time stamped from April 12th.
April 12th at 12:27, apparently.
Now that's locked in. Are you going to try to renegotiate if this team gets to the World Series? Then you're really sweating. I think you have a couple. You don't have to sweat yet. They got to get to an ALCS for you really to start worrying.
They got to get through 2 series before we get to the World Series. I'll be honest. It concerns me to get a tattoo as someone who does not have one.
And it's going on your right ass cheek or left?
I know. No, it's not going on. I'm not putting it on my ass. That's not where it's going. But when you look at what the situation is, I hadn't been a man of my word in the strip club, and I think that that's been made very clear. I will personally guarantee on this show that the Royals going to win the World Series. I will still go get that tattoo.
Now, do you want to swap out
I'm
2
not
for 1? Do you want a 2 for 1?
Negotiation.
Do you want a 2 for 1? I'm willing to negotiate on this. You can forego the 2-year bet that you have not come through with, the strip club bet, if you're willing to bump that up to just a World Series appearance.
A World Series appearance?
I'm getting the tattoo? You can get rid of the strip club bet forever.
I think this is something you have to.
Can I think about it for a little bit?
Sure, you can think about it till the end of the show.
I don't even know if you have to think about it, Cody.
Are you saying he should do it?
I think you should do it.
Do the trade, be done with the strip club bet.
It's tough to get a tattoo, if the Royals don't win a World Series.
But it's not,
feels like I got to wait for that, kinda.
But it's not like you're getting a World Series champs 2024 tattoo.
That's right.
It's Vinny saying, "Who gives a bleep? We're winning games."
And that would be a fact. They would be winning games.
The optics of it are not as bad as
you don't have Sean Barber's wife to save you on this one. She saves Drew on the tattoo bet.
No, I don't have anyone to save me.
Vinny's not going to say, "Don't get my saying on your body." It's not going to be a thing.
No, I'm going to actually ask Vinny to go. Will you please come? Will you come here, please? Will you be my guest for this thing?
Well, I figured if they get to the World Series and you agreed to the renegotiation, I'm figuring that tattoo's getting done in studio during the World Series.
Are we getting in studio?
Why not? On camera and everything.
Isn't it a good idea to have a tattoo artist travel?
What? You think somebody's never...
I don't think it would be that hard.
I mean, LeBron James, he doesn't go to the tattoo parlor. Someone comes to him, you know?
Yeah,
I really don't think it would be
What's
that
the difference?
hard.
Cody Tapp, LeBron James, same thing.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they are winning games, so who gives a... And
Someone says I'm being too generous
wouldn't put
to
the
you.
bleep. It'll be the actual word.
Someone says I'm being too generous to even offer you this. I think it's a
Too
fair offer.
generous?
I
That's
think it's
more
a
than
fair
fair.
offer. They make the World Series, and you can pay off both bets. And if they don't make the World Series, then you're done with the strip club bet too. Think about that.
Man, that is tempting. To finally just wash that one away
Just
forever.
be done with it forever.
Not to think about.
I'll let you think about that. Coming up next, though, let's talk about the golden era of Kansas City sports right now and what is going on in this city. My goodness.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Well, it's an election year, so everybody's talking about trust. Talk is cheap. Trust is earned. This is Gene at House of Diamonds. And just like it's better to judge candidates by their history instead of their promises, the same is true for jewelers. The guys who once sold lab diamonds for thousands of dollars with a straight face are now literally giving them away and want you to trust them when they say this month's once-in-a-lifetime sell is better than last month's, or that there's such a thing as free financing. Look, trust is earned over time. In our case, over 30 years, and is as precious as the real diamonds, gemstones, and custom jewelry here at House of Diamonds. It's why we still personally design and handcraft all the custom jewelry we sell. Trust is earned by delivering on promises and exceeding expectations. That's what we do every day at House of Diamonds. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings, located off 105th in Metcalf and Overland Park, Friday, October 4th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m., celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Light. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
For more, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000. Or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com. And I look forward to working with you.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
Who doesn't love getting something for free? Labor Day deals have arrived at the Home Depot, and right now you can get a free Milwaukee 18-volt extended capacity battery, $159 value, when you buy a select tool. Get longer runtime and more battery life so you can power all your fall projects. Shop Labor Day deals and get a free battery when you buy a select tool at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in store and online.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navient tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your sunroof is closed first, before driving through the car wash.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no. Wait, whoa.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently set your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Your coworkers might annoy you, but we promise we won't. Download the free Odyssey app and you can listen to us at work while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Tune in late, you can rewind your favorite live shows to catch what you missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Dury Vision. Schedule your free consultation today. DuryVision.com.
Make the best decision ever like I did. That was calling up Dury Vision for a free consultation to find out how I can see better, and in my case, how I could get rid of my contacts and glasses. Give them a call, 913-491-3330, or go online to DuryVision.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
I love you, KC. This is why I wanted to come here and stay. This means everything. We're just getting started.
Bobby Witt Jr., 2 game-winning hits to move the Royals into the American League Divisional Series. Coming up in about a half hour, we'll check in with our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. He was on late last night. I think I was 9:30 or so. He was on the air, feeling good. And we continue our Royals coverage throughout the day today and throughout the next week at least. We at least know we got this for basically another week at minimum.
Minimum 6 days?
Yep. At least through next Wednesday. That's the minimum.
Man, remember when we were talking about how we just wanted the Royals to matter in July?
Here we are,
I mean, do you remember those conversations?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like, I would just like the Royals to matter by the All-Star break. Was a real conversation I think we had on this show, because the previous time, they didn't matter to the All-Star break. And then we were having a slightly different conversation. Now, not a problem anymore. Not a problem.
We have mentioned this golden era of sports time and time again in the last 12 to 24 months, I guess. Yeah. Just add this to it. And honestly, you step back and you almost laugh.
It is kind of comical.
Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Anybody that grew up in this city, we all know how rough it was for so long.
As a sports fan?
As a sports fan. And now to sit here, the Chiefs and Royals have more playoff wins in Baltimore than the Orioles and Ravens do since 2014. Okay, the combined 5-3. We of course look at the Chiefs and multiple Super Bowl appearances, 3 rings, going for a 3-peat now with Patrick Mahomes having the best quarterback in maybe NFL history, maybe the best coach in NFL history by the time both of their careers are done, and a Royals team that went from 56 to now an American League Divisional Series that has Bobby Witt Jr., who is no question a top 3 player. I think other than Shohei, he's the best player in baseball, period, while we have, as we said, with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it is the golden era, and we're going to look back, 30 years from now and think about these days that we're all living in right now. And there's also some much younger than us out there that have never seen anything but winning. And this is as good as it gets, man. This is as good as it gets. And we're so spoiled right now. And it is fun every once in a while to just step back for just 2 minutes and think about everything we've all been able to experience since 2017. Hell, I'll really just say 2015 to this day.
I would say if you're like a 20-year-old kid, what a blessed life. 20 years old, at 10 years old, the Royals were going to back-to-back World Series, winning a title. Then right after that, Andy Reid showed up and Patrick Mahomes started winning Super Bowls. That might be the prime age. But even for you and I mean, now it is dominated. The last 11 years, 10 straight years from 2014 to now, you and I have been sitting around while the Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowls. The Royals have won a World Series and been to 2, are back in the ALDS. And yeah, I get it. There were some lean Royals years in there, but I always kind of equate it back to the whole city. A lot in this city has changed in a decade. Like, just tons. The old purpose-built stadium for a women's professional soccer team down at the riverfront. And they're in the postseason, too, by the way. If you go back 1 year, the MLS title for Sporting in 2013 and everything else, it just feels like the city's had a different
draft. I mean, keep going, man.
It's the energy of the city has certainly grown significantly during that time. But from a strictly sports perspective, hot damn, there is no way you are ever in your life gonna get a run better than these last 2 years. 3 Super Bowls and a World Series. We only have 2 of the 4 professional sports. We don't have some big, large group. We don't also have the NBA to lean on and the NHL
I assume if we had an NBA team again, I'm assuming we'd be winning championships and playoff games,
I'll tell you this much. I at least know if Baltimore had any of those teams, we'd be beating their ass. Wouldn't matter what sport they were playing. They got an MLS team because they're definitely losing to Sporting Kansas City in some heartbreaking playoff games sometime in the next couple of years. That city has to, I told you before, they have to hate us.
Of course. I mean, they should, honestly. They should. I mean, we have just owned them and crushed their dreams time and time again. And now, I mean, it is definitely one of those things. We are in the head of everybody in the city of Baltimore. It's not even close. And so, there's just, whenever they meet again, whether the Ravens maybe and the Chiefs play in the playoffs this year. I don't know how Ravens fans will be confident at all when they play the Chiefs, if they play the Chiefs in a divisional round or AFC title game again, whether it's in Baltimore and Kansas City. I mean, it's just hilarious almost where we're at right now with Kansas City sports. And the great news, what's exciting, because of the 2 names we mentioned, Bobby Witt and then Patrick Mahomes across the parking lot, because of those 2 players and how young they both are, especially Bobby Witt Jr., it's not as if this is the end of it. I know we always say, hey, don't take it for granted. Appreciate you never know if you'll get back. That is all true. But, man, because of these 2 young stars, and not just stars, the best in their sport possibly, certainly one already.
Yeah.
This isn't just ending right this second. They're not 38 years old. I mean, that's what's amazing.
And they're both on 10-year contracts. They're not even just here. They're here, man. Last night in postgame, Bobby Witt Jr. said, this is why I stayed. This is why I signed to be here, right? I don't think that's fluff. I think he really understood, and Patrick Mahomes probably showed him that way a little bit. You can thank Patrick Mahomes a little bit for Bobby Witt Jr. saying. He showed what Kansas City will do to support a superstar. People will fall over. They will lay down in the dirt for Patrick Mahomes to walk over them if that's what it takes in order to get to another Super Bowl. They would do the exact same thing for Bobby Witt Jr. They would commit felonies to support the rest. It doesn't matter. You get the point. They'll support anything this team does.
There's no Royals super fan robbing banks that I know of yet. Or I guess it could be happening. We just don't know. We just don't know.
If you start seeing a guy that you know and you're like, I don't remember you having this amount of money. How were you at every ALCS and World Series game? Boy, that's peculiar. Your clothes got a lot nicer, too. Might want to keep an eye on the future 30 for 30, I guess, in that case. But honestly, I think it's inarguable. It is the golden era of Kansas City sports, because what would be the comparable? The Royals were great in the 70s and 80s. The Chiefs were not great during that time. The Chiefs were great at the beginning of their franchise's history. The Royals didn't even exist. They barely existed when the Chiefs were good the first time. Then a lot of ineptitude from both organizations, if we're being honest. I'll say this. Kansas City, for the cities that hate Kansas City now, right, like Baltimore, I just want you to know that Kansas City paid the tax. They paid the bad tax for a long time.
It wasn't always like this. No.
They watched Runelvis Hernandez and Scott Ellerton and Tyler Thigpen. We earned it, okay? Kansas City fans went through some stuff in order to finally get this kind of level. So I don't feel bad for
No,
other
I'm with
cities.
you. That's, anytime you talk to other media colleagues in other markets, right, man, you guys just have it way too easy. I'm like, well, we do right now. I go, but this was not always how it was. This was not always how it was as a sports fan in Kansas City. But boy, oh boy, are we living in unbelievable times. This is the reality, and I don't want to kill the vibe. I do have to bring up one thing I want to ask you about this upcoming series against the Yankees. The Royals are coming off a series win against the Orioles. Pitching was incredible. Bullpen, in particular, incredible. They score 3 runs on offense in the series, and they win it.
Swept it. Not even like...
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. Can you keep winning with the offense hitting like this against the Yankees? I think the answer is no. Now, the good news is teams that have relied on home runs, Yankees, don't usually go on playoff runs. But the Royals are going to have to score more than 3 runs in the first 2 against the Yankees if you think they're splitting or winning a game out of this, right? And certainly if you think somehow they're winning 2 in New York. Now, the pitching, I think the pitching is going to hold up. Why would I not? I think that this is where they're at right now with starting pitching in the bullpen. But I do think if we're being honest with ourselves, I don't think they can win a best-of-5 series with this offense performing like this.
No, they can't win the Yankees series like that. That's not how the last Yankees series went. Actually, go back and do yourself a favor. The Royals played the Yankees, not that series back in May when they kicked their teeth in. The Royals played the Yankees 3 weeks ago. It was not that long ago that they saw New York this one was in Kansas City. In Kansas City, not that long ago. Here's how the 3 series went. They lost the first game 10-4. And before you're like, well, that's not good. The game was 4-4 in the 7th. Do you want to know who gave up the final 6 runs to cost the Royals the lead? They were James McArthur, who's hurt and injured for the rest of the year, and Chris Stratton, who is not on the roster. So the game was 4-4.
Different bullpen, yeah.
Yeah, the game was 4-4, and then bullpen arms who will never pitch for this team in the postseason weren't in there. Okay. Next game, they win 5-0 behind excellent starting pitching. That gives you the big thumbs up. This is just 3 weeks ago. And then the final game, they lost 4-3 in 11 innings. And the same problem existed. Bullpen arms you wouldn't want throwing and will not throw in a playoff game for the Royals ended up costing the game in 11. So these teams are not that far apart. So I don't
think they're far apart. And because of the pitching, the Royals are going to be in every single one of these games in this series. I have no doubt about they have a chance to win every single one of these because of the pitching. I'm just saying that, like someone said, hey, good pitching beats hitting. 100% with you.
Typically does, yeah.
100% with you.
Something.
But I disagree with they can win the exact same way.
I don't think so. They got to score a lot more runs.
The pitching is going to have to be great again. But they cannot. I don't believe you're winning 3 games in the series, which is what's required. 3 games in the series, 1-0, 2-1, 2-1. I just don't believe that's going to be realistic. They're going to have a game in which they're capable of scoring 4 more runs. I really believe that, even with how great our pitching has been. It just is not usually how you go on a playoff run, is only scoring 1-2 runs a game.
I think particularly what has stood out is that for maybe a month straight, how many times has this team left the bases loaded? How many times? And I do not care about the number of, I don't care about the number of outs there were before. Sometimes it's 2 outs. Sometimes it's bases loaded, nobody out like it was 10 days ago. Sometimes it's bases loaded, doesn't matter. How many times has this team failed to succeed with the bases loaded? Because yesterday was a sweat and they won it. But they had the bases loaded again. And look, I'm sure the Orioles are telling themselves the same thing. They had the bases loaded with nobody out and did not get the runs that they needed in order to win that game. But the Royals have had a lot of opportunities with the bases loaded and have not been coming through in that situation. So if you're not going to get a ton of hits, you're still going to have to get the timely hits. And right now, offensively, I think Vinny's still kind of rounding back into form. Bobby still looks like Bobby. The guy that
Perez
he's guessing.
Yeah.
I'll just be out. He's in guess mode. Salvador Perez looks like he couldn't hit anything right now. He looks uncomfortable up there. He is swinging at pitches 4 feet outside the plate. And while I know he's done that a lot in his career, And for the most part, I'm pretty willing to accept it and understand that, that's part of what makes Salvi good. It's a little high right now. They're going to need more offense.
We've seen this before, though, from him, and then all of a sudden, all of a sudden he comes up with a massive, 2 RBI double or hits a home run and all is well. I mean, so this is
Once
not some unheard of thing. But right now, yeah, I mean, it's frustrating to watch. I get it. But we've seen this before, and it doesn't take much for him usually to snap out of it. There's some other guys that did step up, even though the scoreboard didn't have a bunch of runs on it. Other guys really did step up yesterday. I mean, I thought Michael Massey was awesome yesterday. I know they pulled him late in the game. I thought he was incredible Gold Glove defense, and he set the table early though. He got on base right away. Set the table. That's exactly what you want from your leadoff hitter. He had some good at bats, saw some pitches too, which helps out everybody else. I thought he was sensational yesterday. I thought Melendez, at least in the field, redeemed himself from the day before with a great catch in left field. It had a 5% catch probability, according to ESPN's metric they used to determine that. So I thought some other guys did step up, even if it wasn't like
MJ had a tough day at the plate. But know what? He made the play that he needed to make.
He did.
And I'm not going to get too down on one play if it doesn't cost them a game. Look, if MJ Melendez coming up and having honest to God, a bad at bat, you know how much more we'd be talking if they lost yesterday about MJ Melendez as a bat and Michael Garcia's bunt attempt? What happened there, man?
Yeah,
they needed that run.
He was waving at that
ball.
What
was going on?
We don't have to. He looked like a player that just had no interest in bunting. Like he was pissed off almost. They asked him to bunt.
I don't know.
That's what it looked like to me. Unfortunately, it's not the story out of the game, but that was a horrific attempt. He looked like a player that just had no interest in wanting to bunt. And I know that teams these guys just don't practice bunting anymore the way they did back in my day. For those listening, somebody would say.
Because the metrics suggest that bunting is not
somebody
valuable.
would say that back in the 80s or whatever. But that looked just like a disinterested player at the plate when it came to bunting the baseball.
Yeah, he didn't want to do that. But so it goes, and it doesn't matter because we don't have to talk about it because they won.
They did, and
now they can't make but that's the point. He needs to get that bunt down so they can score the run. There are runs left on the board for this team the first 2 games, so there are more runs available to them.
Here in 10 minutes, we're going to be joined by our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. Get his perspective on how the Royals got through this series and what can they replicate in the Bronx beginning Saturday night. 5:38 first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan. And as Vern pointed out, 17:38 military time. It was a great tweet from Vern last night. Of course, it's 17:38 military time on Saturday. My goodness. So we'll get back to the Royals in a second. Briefly, though, you wanted to talk a little bit more about how Andy Reid might be perceived nationally this year, given all the injuries.
I know we're not going to talk a ton about the Chiefs today because it's the Royals' day and deservedly so. But the Chiefs are still 4-0 and back-to-back defending Super Bowl champions back to the it's a great day to be a Kansas City fan. I think because of all the injuries, this is the first time in like 10 years that Andy Reid, albeit still a smaller one, has a chance to win Coach of the Year. Because if he gets the number 1 seed, in my opinion, if they're the number 1 team in the AFC, tell me why he isn't. He will have done it without his number 1 running back, his number 1 wide receiver, his number 2 wide receiver, a quarterback who's not playing perfect football. He drags that team in a, I think, still loaded AFC to the number 1 seed. Why wouldn't he get a little conversation? His biggest competition, Kevin O'Connell's a problem. Am I lying? He's 4-0.
You think?
And he's doing it with Sam Darnold. So am I lying? Kevin O'Connell's a problem here.
Yeah.
But I mean, why wouldn't he be more deserving of that conversation than he's been in years? It's not stacked. The deck's not stacked for him the same way it's been in past.
So I hear you. I mean, I think we all know how this award goes, though. I mean, everything you said, I agree. Andy Reid and Bill Belichick for many years when he was with the Patriots, they are graded on a different scale for this award, and it's not fair, right? But that's where they're at. I still think for Andy Reid to get Coach of the Year, Cody, it takes them having a 15-2, 16-1, and yes, a perfect season. People can say that's ridiculous. I'm just talking about to win the award. The betting markets also have shown that that's typically how this goes. Kevin O'Connell right now is plus 165 up in Minnesota.
It's a pretty big favorite this early.
Dan Quinn is 5-1. Mike McDonald there in Seattle 7-1, and then Jim Harbaugh. I don't know how he's still 14-1. Like they're going to lose again this week, I think. But anyway, so or maybe they're in a bye week, the week after their next game. Okay, you get the point. Kevin O'Connell is the problem with what you said about the injuries. I hear you; it's true. Kevin O'Connell's doing it with Sam freaking Darnold, though. That's why. So, no, I do not think you should put money on Andy Reid, who's 35-1, unless you think they're going 15-2. If they go 15-2 or better with the injuries, then yes, then there's an argument to be made. But you better hope Kevin O'Connell doesn't win the NFC North, and Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings aren't 13-4.
Yeah, because if they're 13-4, then they can't do it. But because I think it's still like a limitation to what their roster is capable of, knowing that Sam Darnold is playing very well, but typically this catches up with teams, right? Not bad. It means they finish 11-6 instead, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not here to say that it hasn't been a hell of a run for Baker Mayfield, and he obviously is a much better quarterback than I ever gave him credit for, and now that he's with a functional organization, things look a lot different for him, and that's fine. But when you look at the way that it's set up, this is the best chance he's had, because he'll never win it otherwise. They'll never give Coach of the Year to Andy Reid.
Well, any year you have
because Coach of the Year is expectation versus reality, and if you've got Patrick Mahomes, the expectation is Super Bowl.
The only way I still think he ever wins it is basically like 16-1, 17-0.
Oh.
Because that of course gives you the ultimate trump card to potentially be able to win it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, man,
you don't think the number one seed with all these injuries does it? That's not deserving.
No, not how this award usually goes.
That's a shame. I still think that
because there's guys that are without their starting quarterback. Dan Quinn's doing with a rookie quarterback. These are just, and you said it. The biggest part there is the expectation. The Commanders are currently in first place in the NFC East. If they win that division, that right there puts Dan Quinn in a really good position to win. And then Kevin O'Connell, same thing applies. Backup quarterback, you win that division, puts you in a really good spot. It's just really tough for Bill Belichick for all those years. Never really won it after a while because of the same reason. You're so good that you can't win it. You're so darn good, you just can't win the award.
Those never give it to you. That's a real shame. Because, I mean, look at what he's doing. The same thing applies, right? Like, in retrospect, Vogt's still going to end up winning Manager of the Year. It should have been Q. Look at what he did with the team he had. It should obviously been Q.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate the idea that sometimes these things, like in-season stuff, should matter for the storyline as well. Andy Reid is doing it when someone chopped out one of his legs, maybe took off one of his arms. And now he's got to find a way to do it. If they are the number one seed in a year like that, it stands out to me. Well, all these other coaches' faults. The problem is the NFC, as we've mentioned before, is those coaches probably stand his way. It's a reason why he's still a big long shot. I'm just saying he should have better consideration this year than even in other years when I wouldn't typically bring it up because I don't feel like I know he's the best coach, but they're not going to give him the award.
And even if you think the Vikings will eventually come back down to earth, okay, so Kevin O'Connell, by the way, Kevin O'Connell doesn't have to win 12 games to win the award. They can win the division at 10 or 11 wins, and he wins the award. Otherwise, then you still have to beat out Dan Quinn. Then you still have to beat out Mike McDonald. Like, there's just other coaches that had such low expectation, it doesn't take them much. They don't have to win 12, 13, 14-plus games. Andy Reid has to win like 14 and deal with all the scenarios that we're laying out. It's just a tougher challenge to win the Coach of the Year. Up next, let's get right back to the Royals here on 96.5, the Fan, our Royals insider, Josh Vernier, going to join us. We'll get his perspective on this series, the win last night, and what they can do against the Yankees on Saturday.
Cody and Gold.
I didn't sleep well. I was drunk.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5, The Fan.
Outback presents Andrew Santino, Free Speech Tour, Saturday, October 5th at the Midland Theater.
She was a single mother. She would let us steal. She'd be like, take it, take it. When we get caught, she'd be like, Andrew, get over here. And then we'd get out of earshot, and she'd be like, you got to hide it better, buddy. You know that. Remember dinosaurs? Pretty good thing. They're not around anymore. Dude, leave the show tonight. You'd be like, fun show. Yeah, we had a good time. All right, goodbye. Go, 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 go.
Get in! Get in! Tickets on sale now at AXS.com.
If you've been thinking about selling your home, what's holding you back? Whether it's a bad experience or even a lack of experience, home selling can be stressful. The key is to trust an expert who has your best interest at heart, and that's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Dawn is the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home, and she can even give you an instant offer if you want to skip the showings. Google my friend Dawn and her team at Sharp Homes Team and see over 200 5-star reviews, or check them out at homesforsaleandkc.com and start packing.
The best of the best event at Peter's Clothiers is this Friday and Saturday only. Select from the best designers in the world, such as Samuelson, the best value in custom clothing. Also custom Zegna cloth, the best fabric for sports coats. Come in to Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line.
The Chiefs Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. By legalizing sports betting, Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
NFL Week 5 is here, and you can start with a chance for a big win on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New to FanDuel, you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Build out a quick same-game parlay for Thursday Night Football between the Bucs and the Falcons. Baker Mayfield, how about he goes over his passing yards? Drake London to go over his receiving, and Bijan Robinson to score a touchdown. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers. 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
Truck drivers, the holiday rush is here. Now is the perfect time to become a Schneider driver. As an industry leader trusted by shippers nationwide, Schneider has the freight to keep you moving this holiday season and all year long. As a Schneider driver, you'll enjoy award-winning benefits, reliable equipment, a pay package that rewards your hard work, and so much more. Don't let the holiday rush pass you by. Search jobs near you and apply now at schneiderjobs.com. That's schneiderjobs.com.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, at T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
24 monthly bill credits. Eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Join 96.5 The Fans Cody and Gold as they broadcast live from Community America Credit Union's first Red Friday tailgate this Friday in Olathe off 135th and Black Bob. Come take photos with Chiefs cheerleaders and Casey Wolf at Community America Credit Union's Black Bob location in Olathe.
You can listen to the play-by-play of the Chiefs and Saints game with Mitch, Danan, and Kling right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC-FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All I have to say is you guys are incredible. Absolute fierce competitors, and this never gets old. Let's go!
Hughes got this squad into the ALDS. Of course, you can hear the game this Saturday night on 96.5 The Fan as they open up their series in the Bronx. Vern's on deck show on Saturday as well, and we welcome in our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. I was listening. You were on, 9:30 or so last night. I feel like you could have stayed on the air till midnight, and people would have still been calling in, man.
I planned on it. I was down to stay on, but we got the hook a little late. So we had a good time last night, hoping that the good times continue to roll.
This bullpen, it's almost funny to think about how we talked about them throughout much of the season. I know it's a different group of guys than the last time they played the Yankees and certainly even at the beginning of August. But to now look at them as one of the biggest reasons, if not the reason why they were able to have the success they did in this series against Baltimore, it's pretty remarkable, the turnaround here.
Yeah, you look at the last 19 games in ERA around 1.5. The first 147 games in ERA around 4.5. So a 3-run drop in the team's ERA just in the last 3 weeks when it comes to that bullpen. And of course, it is just a bunch of different faces that weren't there in April and May and June, started to show up in July, and now are all oozing with confidence. I mean, Angel Zerpa is going so right now. He strikes a dude out while breaking the guy's hand. Zerpa, Schreiber, Long, I mean, whoever comes out of that bullpen you feel good about. And obviously Matt Quatrero does as well because the guys are coming into spots. Listen, I'm not saying that I was cheering on Q's decision to pull Seth Lugo. And I understand that in the fourth inning he was leaving some fastballs up, and he did it again to Cedric Mullins in the fifth. But I've said it countless times on this show. I'm riding with these starting pitchers the third time through the lineup before I trust anybody outside of Lucas Erceg in that bullpen. And that's even with the evidence of Long and Bubic, Zerpa, Schreiber, and the rest. I'm still Team Reagans, Team Waka, Team Seth Lugo.
Same.
So Q put himself out there by bringing Zerpa into that bases-loaded spot with only one out. Great job by Zerpa. He gets out of it, and, yeah, Q looks like a genius, but, man, and he is doing a great job, him and his coaching staff, but it's about execution, right? Q wasn't an idiot in April and May. He's not a genius now. His players are just flat-out executing in all phases, not just the bullpen, but the little things at the dish, on the base paths, defensively. Man, if this bullpen keeps it up, they're one of, if not the most well-rounded team left in the American League.
Vern, how do you think they match up specifically an early look at the Yankees? We saw them just 3 weeks ago. I went back and looked through those games. The first game they lost 10-4, but it's 4-4, and then Stratton and MacArthur both give up 3. The second game they win easily, 5-0, and then the third game it goes all the way to 11. Do you think this is a pretty fair fight if the game is between both stadiums versus that game or those series of games being at Kauffman?
To me, every fight is a fair fight. I never really... When you're built the way that the Royals are, when you perform the way that they have for a majority of the season around pitching, defense, team speed, and the best damn player on the planet, I really don't care who's in the other dugout with how they're playing. Cleveland, Detroit, take your pick. Waka, Reagans, Lugo handing it off to a red-hot bullpen with a defense that's making plays, an aggressive base-running unit, and an offense right now that, Vinny Pasquantino doesn't see big league pitching for a month, and he's 2 for 7 in the playoffs with a pair of walks and a stake. Yeah, they match up well against the Yankees. They match up well against the Dodgers. They match up well against the Phillies. If they're going to play like this, they match up well against everybody.
Yeah, I don't think the Royals, or the Yankees, I should say, want to be playing the Royals at all after watching what just happened.
Did you hear Denny, by the way?
He said basically what, beware? Is that what it was?
Yeah, Yankees beware, and he said it like 5 times. And if Denny's going to be that confident,
so
man,
ominous,
my confidence
man.
is through the roof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Denny saw all those fights, though, man. He lived through when this was a rivalry in the 70s and the 80s. But, Vern, the truth is, the Yankees haven't mattered in postseason baseball in 15 years. So if they blow it again this time to the lowly Royals is how I think the Yankees...
They just haven't won.
Sure, but they haven't been to the World Series.
They've been a factor in the postseason, sure.
The Astros just have had their number over the last 10 years or whatever it is.
Right. Here's what I'll say about the Yankees. You know, the hatred that fans like, that remember the 70s and 80s, that remember those battles, man, people like us that grew up with, Jeter and Bernie and them winning 3 straight World Series and seemingly going every single season, we remember the evil empire, but we're also getting up there somewhat. This generation that I'm hearing from now on the post-game show that consistently tells me how old they were in 2014 and 20. Oh, Vern, I was in 2nd grade listening to you in 2015.
Oh, no.
I've been getting that a lot. They have no reason to hate the New York Yankees if you really think about it. That generation has zero reason to despise the Yankees. Honestly, they should like them. Aaron Judge is likable. Juan Soto's likable. The New York song at the end is likable. If you don't remember their dominance, they're not really all that hateable. Maybe Aaron Boone is. I could see people not liking him. But outside of that, why hate the Yankees?
That might be true, and obviously I come from the other perspective, but you're talking about much younger kids. I think some of it is still like New York sports fan, East Coast sports fan, and just how they feel towards Kansas City. That to me should be enough for anybody to hate
Coast versus Midwest
to hate the Yankees or whatever. But back to on the field, like I hear you about the bullpen, and obviously the starting pitching's been sensational. But can they win this series if the offense is putting up 3 runs every 2 games? Though I just don't see that happening.
No, it's going to be tough. Yeah, it'll be tough, but certainly, yeah, they can. They can win that. Again, Garrett Cole's a stud, but they have the same question marks in their bullpen. Right? Their fans are more nervous about their relievers than we've become with the Royals relief corps. You remember Luke Weaver? Remember that bozo that standing on the national anthem, standing on the foul line, did that stare down BS with Mike Matheny. He's their closer now. He's their best reliever. Now, we'll see if Luis Heel moves out to the bullpen. They could have a good arm out there. But outside of Garrett Cole, I think this Royals pitching staff can match zeros or match whatever New York does. So, 2 runs here, 3 runs there. Yeah, that could be enough to win. Is it a great recipe? Score 1 run and hold on? No, but that's obvious.
We can get one more in here, Vern, from you, then we can let you go. We know you're busy. You got to get ready for that Yankees game. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. When you look at what the offense hasn't done, who is it that you want to see more out of the most? We know that Vinny and Bobby have been doing their job, but and like Salvi will go through stretches like this. I know you'd say the captain generally, but MJ, Massey, I mean, who do you need to see more offensively out of these next couple of series or next couple of games?
Well, Massey's been terrific.
He's been good.
Bobby's a star. Vinny's fantastic. Salvi's been squaring them up, man. If you go back to game 1, he hit 3 rockets. Yesterday's game, he's hit by a pitch, a single, and a 9th inning rocket. Yuli Gurriel, I guess, would be my answer. But 1 for 3 in the opener, including a double play. 0 for 4 yesterday. MJ, you would like a lefty bat getting right in New York, obviously, but Vinny and Massey seem to be right, so I can wait on MJ Melendez, especially if he's going to be making great plays out in left field.
Yeah.
Renfroe, Gurriel, I guess those would be the 2 that come to mind. But, again, man, my feet have been up for weeks. There's just absolutely nothing to worry about if you're a Royals fan right now.
Vern, appreciate it, man. Get a little rest if you can, and then we'll check in tomorrow with you.
Quick heads up tonight, 6 to 8, an ALDS special. Royals Assistant General Manager Scott Sharp going to stop by, and many more tonight on 96.5 The Fan.
There you go. Josh Vernier will be listening tonight. All things Royals this evening. And then, he'll join us tomorrow. Then, of course, Saturday, Vern's On Deck show gets you set for Game 1 in the Bronx. ALDS Series, Royals-Yankees. Yeah, Michael Wacha on the bump against Garrett Cole.
You're home for the Royals, 96.5 The Fan, and your playoff Royals now,
Up next, let's talk a little more about Q. You heard him in the celebration there, but let's talk about what I thought was a masterclass with the bullpen, plus the trash of the day. And we're expected still to hear from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes a little bit later on this hour. It's a jam-packed 11 o'clock hour on 96.5 The Fan.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Kansas football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, MGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings, located off 105th in Metcalf and Overland Park, Friday, October 4th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m., celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
For more, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Fall in the Midwest is pleasant. The air is crisp, the temperatures are mild, and all is right with the world. But every one of you knows that lurking around the corner is creepy old man Winter. He wants to come into your home, put his feet up on the couch, and take over the remote. That's why you need to replace your drafty old windows with triple glass replacement windows from Thermo King. Triple glass? But weren't you told that double glass windows were all you'd ever need? Think again. Triple glass windows offer double the insulating barriers against creepy old man Winter than double glass windows. And their super strong frames are guaranteed to never twist, warp, fade, or fail. And right now, Thermo King is selling their triple glass windows for the same price as double glass. Who would do such a thing? Thermo King, that's who. So don't let this beautiful weather fool you. Protect your home from creepy old man Winter and call Thermo King today. 888-KING-WIN or online at thermokingwindows.com.
This ad furnished by Nesmith Taju LLC. Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to 89cash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
89cash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of
up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to 89cash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to 89cash.com. That's 89cash.com. 89cash.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel, chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2. At T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
With 24 monthly bill credits, eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by award-winning Johnny's Barbecue in Olathe.
Football and barbecue fans, score big with Johnny's Barbecue tailgate packages. Whether you're hosting a home gate or a tailgate, Johnny's Barbecue has you covered. Check out our tailgate packages at johnny'sbbqkc.com. Located in Olathe and serving all of KC. Johnny's Barbecue. Taste the smoke.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey guys, now we go!
Salvador Perez in the clubhouse last night there in Baltimore as the Royals move on to the ALDS, taking on the Yankees.
Fucking tired of that, dude.
Saturday, game 1. And yeah, I mean, there's certain individual players you feel even better for during this. Salvador Perez, one of those, based off of him sticking with this organization through some really rough years. We all know the stories that came out in the last calendar year or so about real conversations, potential trades, and honest conversations on both sides, J.J. Piccolo and Salvador Perez and his family, et cetera. And ultimately now, look where they're at. And so it's pretty cool to see how this has worked out for everybody involved, and a chance hopefully for Salvi to get going in this ALDS too, you know, and to create some more memories individually for him in Cooperstown, to see if he can't maybe get some at-bats there against the Yankees that are effective. We know from a leadership standpoint, all that's always there. But I think if this offense were to break out at all in this series, it's hard to imagine it not including him. I think if we're going to all of a sudden be sitting here on Monday saying, man, the offense came alive on Saturday, or sitting here on,
be a part of it.
I think he would have to be.
First, not crazy.
Yes.
It's just like in the at-bats that he's not hitting it hard, it just seems like he's giving it away. Like, I think Vinny had told us in the offseason, he was talking about one of the things that he takes the pride in the most is that he doesn't just, it doesn't matter if it's 2 outs, we're down 10 in the 9th inning. If I'm up to bat, that at bat matters. And so with Salvi, I'll be honest, Sometimes I think sometimes he's just up there just kind of swinging, having a good old time. And that's fine for the most part, but they are going to have to find more offense out of there. But one thing Vern had said, I also think is somewhat true, but something I'd asked 10 days ago on the show. We took calls, so we can take calls again. How are you feeling about the Royals, but also about this? 913-586-7965. You want to tell us how you're feeling about the Royals, but I want to know this now. 10 days ago, I asked you to call in, and I said, what's your problem with Q? Why are there more people now seemingly complaining about the job he's doing as a manager than I feel like ever before for a guy who took a 56-win team and was winning more than they had been winning? I think now you look even dumber because yesterday looks like the case of this is why don't judge a manager based on this, because when the players make the plays, you don't even notice. He had to use Zerpa, Schreiber, Urseg. He went deep into the pin. He pulled Lugo early. And had those guys not come through, I imagine you're calling to this show today telling me how Matt Quatraro doesn't know how to use the pin.
That's the name of the game.
But it looked perfect yesterday, didn't it?
It sure did. I thought it was a masterclass with managing the bullpen, but there is also the reality. I think Vern said it's true. It's, that all of a sudden Serpa doesn't get out of that, and we're sitting here and everybody's critical probably of that decision. So it's amazing how quickly things can shift, but he deserves a ton of credit for how he managed the bullpen. I know some people had issues with pinch hitters, pinch runners late in the game. Thank goodness that it did not end up mattering. But from a bullpen perspective, yeah, I thought it was terrific, and how they went about their business there. And that's the nice thing, I'll say it again, about wrapping it up yesterday and now having a couple days off before game one of the ALDS is that everybody's good to go again on Saturday. You needed 4 outs from Urseg on Saturday night. You good to go for that. You need to stretch, Sam Long for an extra out. Chris Bubich for an extra out.
He was using everybody, not even like clean innings. Just well, it's righty, lefty, here, there. Now this guy's coming in for 2, 3, and then hold on. I got Schreiber now. He was just mixing and matching. I think the only decision the entire game I disagreed with was pinch running with Pham, and I was like, I'm not really sure you need to do this now. And he got caught, and everything just kind of felt kind of funky.
My only one was
that was maybe it.
Yeah, my only one was, I didn't think they should have taken MJ out on the base pass, and then it was Garrett Hampson, not Dairon Blanco. I didn't get that decision,
and it felt very early.
And that's part of playoff baseball. Every decision is even under the microscope even more.
And should be.
Fortunately, that didn't matter, but the bullpen, selection and maneuvering strategy, all that was perfect.
I think
the players had to execute it to make it feel like it was perfect too.
What stands out the most about Q is he has a plan. Look, maybe you don't like the plan, Gold. Maybe somebody else doesn't like the plan, like you said with Hampson. But I don't think he's in there just throwing darts either.
Nope.
He definitively has a way that he likes to deliver and execute the bullpen, deliver and execute pinch runners, bunts, and sometimes late in the season when they were really going through the offensive funk. I mean, like the depths of it. They were trying to manufacture runs in the 6th inning. Last night, they were trying to manufacture a run in the 6th inning. They pulled MJ out because they're like, well, Hampson's a little bit faster, and maybe we can find a way to steal a run here. And as good as our bullpen's pitching, that one extra run will give us all the breathing room we need in the world in order to do it. What he had failed to understand at that point probably was apparently everybody in the bullpen was going to have their day. Is that the best you've ever seen Angel Zerpa look? I mean, honest to God. That was the nastiest I've ever seen Zerpa look.
Given the situation and the pressure and all that, of course. Yeah. I mean, I think out of all the guys that came in, I was probably more nervous for Schreiber coming in than even Zerpa. I just was.
He's had a mixed bag this year, but he's been good lately.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, of course, if you rank it out, Urseg is who you feel the best about. But you know what? That group, everybody that pitched yesterday, basically, that's the group that I think we're just going to, unless the game gets out of hand at some point, that's the group that I think we're just going to see over and over this series.
The ones we just saw?
Yeah, the ones we just saw. The only way I think we get to, a Daniel Lynch or something like that is if a starter goes even less than 4 1/3, or we have an extra inning game. Other than that, I think
there's
that
enough
group,
spread that Lynch doesn't have to pitch much.
No, that group we saw last night, I think that, and especially another best-of-5 series with the off days and everything, I think those are the only guys you really should have to use. There'll be one other instance where
I think if they're down 2-0 in the 6th and the starter's coming out, they might go to Lynch first in an effort to preserve the guys you're talking about. But Lynch's job there is still important. Lynch's job in that scenario is to make sure the game doesn't get out of hand. What's crazy about this is think about all the names we've mentioned of guys that could actually get outs. I mean, does that not hit you a little bit? The fact that Zerpa and Schreiber and Long and Urseg and Bubic have all gotten like big outs of this, I'm not kidding. 3 weeks ago, if you had told me they had to go 5 deep in the bullpen, I'd have been on watch, dude. There's no way.
Well,
There's no way I would have felt good about that.
The biggest source of frustration all year for Royals fans was the bullpen. But I think it is important to keep mentioning this bullpen is so much different than the one that was pitching in May, so much different than the one that was pitching on July 31st, the one that was pitching on August 15th. It's a different bullpen based off of how they started to whittle the rotation down a little bit in the pen, I should say. Some of it because of injury, a lot of it because of performance. And so they found the group that they trust the most, that has the most effective stuff. And now you just have a really, really confident group of 4 or 5
feels like
pitchers.
they're getting the outs.
Urseg and Bubic and Serpa and Long and Schreiber. You have 5 guys that they're clearly confident in. And honestly, that's, other than the scenario you presented maybe with Lynch, those should just be the 5 guys that they're able to use throughout this entire series coming up against the Yankees.
Yeah, no reason to think it's going to go any different than that. I can't believe the confidence shift in the pen. I told you a week ago that I thought the new Achilles heel was the offense. If they start hitting, they can sweep teams. If the starting pitching is what it's been all year, the bullpen's now locked in. If they start hitting, they might run roughshot on some groups because
that's why they're dangerous. That's why they're extremely dangerous. And that's the key in the can you get everything clicking at once? We know it is for the Tigers. They continue to roll there through the Astros. Right now, the Royals have 2 of the most important things clicking. That's why they won the series. Yep. That's why they got a great chance against the Yankees. But boy, oh boy, yes, if they could have this pitching and suddenly the offense gets going, well then we're talking about a team that it's getting 2014 vibes again. Then if they win on Saturday and they're able to have the offense going as well, then we are feeling like, oh boy, is this another 2014 type of run? That we're not there yet, but that's what I would start feeling if the offense got going.
Yeah, probably. I mean, again, you're right. If they win game 1, it's funny, not even just if they win game 1 on Saturday, I'm like, well, they're going to the World Series. Problem solved. Everybody worries over because if it's going like this, well, then I guess we're done here. I'll see you guys in October, late October baseball.
Start scheduling the tattoo.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll need to. That's exactly right.
So there's plenty of people who've offered, which I really appreciate. Some people who are a tattoo artist that offered. Some people who say they know a guy who will do it for free. Some people in the text center are just straight up offering to pay for it, which I appreciate. I do think I have to reach out to one person first if we get to that part in the World Series. The person who designed the Cody and Gold logo is a tattoo artist who also does professional hand lettering. So if there's a person who's going to write words on me permanently via a tattoo, shouldn't it be the guy who designed the show logo?
I would say so.
Have you thought, though, about the offer? Because on April 12th, you said, you would get a tattoo if the Royals win. I told you there's an offer on the table. If you are willing to accept the renegotiated terms, if the Royals just make the World Series, you get the tattoo of who gives a bleep they're winning games or winning games, and then you don't have to worry about your strip club bet anymore. So then you kill 2 bets with once at the same time. And if the Royals don't get to a World Series, then both bets are done. Think about that.
So,
that's enticing.
That is enticing. I'm not going to lie, that is enticing. I went back and listened to the original audio of when I offered this, when I said, not just the short clip, and I said, if they win the World Series, I'll get a tattoo. And in the clip, you immediately start offering me if they just get to the World Series, too. You're like, can I just get you on board for if they get to the World Series? And my comment then, I'm going to listen to past Cody on this one. My comment then was, I'm not getting tattoos. I'm not getting participation trophy tattoos. I get tattoos for winning championships. This is a championship level town. Now, that means I'm still going to have to go to the strip club at some point. But I get a tattoo if
That's the issue
win
here. We have to take care of the
series.
I'm sick of talking about the strip club bet. It's been 2 years. We've been in Vegas multiple times. We're going to Vegas in 3 weeks. 3 weeks we're out in Vegas. We could be having our Friday night party there, the game 1 of the World Series, heading into the Chiefs weekend against the Raiders. All that could happen at the same time. I need you to pay off this bet. Otherwise, I think we have to enact a ban again.
I think you can up the stakes a little bit more and say either he takes his bet or he has to go to the strip club when in Vegas. He has to go.
I have to go when in Vegas?
I like this.
You can't just give me ultimatums.
At some point, though, there has to be consequences for not paying off bets. Drew has one outstanding bet, but he paid off one.
Yeah, and now we're busy, so we'll get to
McDonald's challenge at some point in time.
I do need to get Barber his gift card, too, by the way.
Well, that's a different
You
thing.
handle that on your own. You know, you could do what you
You
gotta
didn't
do.
pay up a bet with Kramer.
I guess from 2 years ago it was he filled in on the show producing. I totally forgot about it. I think he did too until last week.
Yeah, that's what happened. I forgot about the strip club.
Oh no! I guess I have to have his Venmo handle on the back of my car for a week. I don't remember what the bet was.
I
but
think
yes.
that's what he told me it was.
I think I have to have his Venmo handle on the back of my car for a
He
week
came to that
because of our.
realization
I said the Raiders last year weren't going to get to
500, and they got to 500, like 8 wins. And they got to 8
beat
wins.
the Chiefs on Christmas Day. Yeah.
Oh God, that's the worst way. to
It
lose
was
the
the
bet.
one that really did it.
Gross.
Yeah.
You
Anyway.
probably let him off too easy because I think he was ultimately very confident his team was making the postseason, which of course.
It wasn't a firm bet, but if he wants me to pay off that, I'll do that.
Kramer, Texas said he never forgot. You know, I never forgot. It turns out we all got some bets to pay off.
All
Huh?
right, coming up in 10 minutes, we're expected to hear from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes here on 96.5 The Fan. But let's get to the trash.
Trash of the day.
All right, so you guys know with athletes, these are very popular, but anybody owns them. They've also like different brands. The Theraguns, that's like the name brand, but there's different brands. You can find them on Amazon a lot cheaper. Those massage guns.
Sure.
And they're very effective.
You got one?
I do not, but they're very effective. So, a gentleman in central China, Mr. Liu.
Okay.
He frequently used a massage gun recommended by his doctor at the time for just, you got a tight leg muscle, whatever. Normal stuff that you're supposed to use it on. Unfortunately, he frequently used the massage gun on his face and eyes. Yeah,
I think that's like in the instructions of immediate no.
Mhm.
Like don't do
purchased
that. Anything but that.
Battery-powered massage gun at the recommendation of a fitness instructor who told him it would work wonders on his tired muscles. After hitting the gym every 2 days, he was looking for a way to relax. The massage gun proved incredibly effective. So much that he decided to use it on his eyes. Due to his busy work schedule, his eyes always felt tired and dry, so he thought that the massage gun would have the same effect on his eyes as it did on his muscles. He
This person's stupid.
was
You
wrong.
sure you don't think you're smarter than 75% of society? This man thought he could put a massage gun to his eyeball.
This goes to common sense. Common sense, 90%. Yeah, 90% sure. He used it. He had to undergo surgery after suffering a lens dislocation. He developed cataracts at the age of 42. He almost has all his vision back now after surgery, but he is very fortunate he is not blind. What an idiot. What an idiot. You
How
thought
is he not blind?
We've all seen the Theraguns. Like, you put the different attachments on them. Some of them are like the round balls. There's other ones, but like the pressure of that, I mean, I would feel like your whole eye would pop out almost because of that thing.
I can't believe he didn't go blind. That man is lucky.
You ever have any balls in your eye?
Lucky. I'm not going to answer that.
Drew, you ever have any?
No.
No.
Confident, no.
I am not going to answer that question, but most
I mean, it's a simple no, I think.
What's the
I think it's
nightmare
a simple
scenario?
no. What is
I don't want the clip of
I think it's a
you
simple
asking
no.
that question and then me saying no. I don't want it combined into some
It's a
super
yes
cut
or
later.
no answer, a question.
No, I've never used a massage gun
So you haven't
on
had,
my
so you've
eyeball.
never
No.
had any balls near your eyes.
That is correct.
Okay.
I just can't believe that somebody would think that was a good idea. But then go to like any of those doctor stories about like these proctologists and stuff. You know how many stupid people just stick things up their ass that they shouldn't? No business.
Well, we witnessed
People do
that,
stupid
apparently, on-
things with their body, man, all the time. They're careless with it.
Props to the Kansas State guy, at least for following through.
Oh, did he
I
actually do
guess,
the
you know?
5-layer burrito thing?
Oh no, he did it.
Drew said he watched it. He said he did
No,
it.
no,
You
I
watched?
No, hang on, I did not
Drew
watch.
said
No,
he
no,
watched
no,
it.
no, no, no.
watched the video?
When you're scrolling
Okay,
on Twitter,
all right.
sometimes something pops up. There was no video, it was a picture, and I was like, I don't need to see that. So this person posted images.
Okay.
And
I think that's
it was
fake.
retweeted by many people who I unfortunately follow in college
You might have used
sports.
AI. I don't want to say for sure, but you know, like he said, someone says there's a photo of it. I didn't look at it. I'm not.
I don't
I'm
need to
okay.
look that
When you're
one up.
scrolling on your phone and it's just there, like you can't. It's
Just
hard-
there.
it's-
There's no community standards on this app
No,
anymore.
no,
Alex is tweeting in bold all the time. People could just have
There's-
burrito stuffed
there
up their
was
ass
no
online.
videos.
What the hell?
The bold tweet is just gonna stay the until Elon changes it. It's just gonna happen. I'm not. I told you it's a weird bug. I'm not changing it. Every tweet's in bold. Sorry, I can't help
I
it.
do believe that individual did get banned from Twitter for his account was suspended.
Who
for,
was?
The Kansas State fan. I think his account got suspended.
Well,
by
for
Twitter.
adult content.
For a good
Although
reason.
they don't suspend that normally. That stuff pops up. I almost cursed. That stuff pops up. So
Watch yourself. Getting a little too loose there for a minute.
Yeah. I was about to say that stuff.
This individual's not smarter than 50% of the population for using a Theragun on his eyeball.
He's not smarter than 5% of the population.
He's so lucky that this surgery was even able to correct that to where he can almost see the same way. I would feel like your eyeball would pop out.
Yeah.
Like just imagine,
like out of the socket, like in a cartoon.
You were saying with the pressure,
the pressure of that.
Yeah.
Also painful. Hello.
Also, it's just like it's one of the areas of your body you are extra careful about protecting.
Yeah.
My eye, they're too exposed already.
Yeah.
I can't be having
we've all got
any kind of risk near an eyeball.
You've played a sporting event where someone accidentally, basketball, they accidentally poke you in the eye, and you know how that feels. Imagine.
Did you say he did it multiple times, or he just did it once?
I thought he said multiple times.
After a week. After a week, he lost his vision. So frequently used the massage. So the first time, it didn't do any damage. I don't know how. He had tired eyes. He just thought that you could massage your eyeball.
Take a nap.
He thought you could massage your eyeball?
Get some Visine, dude. Like, there are other choices.
If you feel the need to really use it on your face, use it like on your temple a little.
Don't do that either.
If you really have to.
Someone says, wait, what gun? A Theragun. It's the massage guns. Theraguns, there's different brands, but that's the name brand, and athletes use it on the sidelines all the time. You see them working out like their calf muscles, hamstring, or whatever.
Big with like pickleball players and golfers.
There's a funny video of Tyreek Hill on the sideline. They're using it, and he's drinking a little pickle juice or whatever it was. Remember? You know what I'm talking about.
So you gotta get Cole Reagan's on that plan, man.
Yeah, he's had
came out of that game early with the cramps.
Twice in a month, Cole Reagan's had cramps.
Somebody said Alex and Scott Van Pelt have the most bold takes on Twitter.
Or his in bold too?
I think he's had some of his in bold, yes. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but
I don't know, man. I
don't know what's going on with your Twitter.
I'm not messing with it anymore. It's the same.
You're
thing.
just gonna keep sending in bold?
I am tweeting the same way I have for 15 years. It just has decided to not switch off a bold, and it was never a problem. It looks the same
just got
to me.
The caps lock on or something like that. I mean, he's really confident in what he's saying.
I think when I tweet from my computer, it doesn't do it, but on the mobile app, it does. So
sorry, man.
There you go. That's the trash of the day. Up next, we will get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Expected to hear from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes right here on 96.5 The Fan.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Calling all Kansas City football fans to downtown Las Vegas. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for the ultimate game day getaway. Huddle up at Overhang Bar with 96.5 The Fan for our pregame tailgates on Fridays with drink specials and giveaways, including a pair of game day tickets. Then catch all the action at the world's largest sportsbook or lounge in the center of it all at America's favorite place to watch football, Stadium Swim, featuring 6 pools and a massive 143-foot screen. To book your Huddle Up experience, visit CircaLasVegas.com today.
And peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy. Some restrictions apply.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
The best of the best event at Peter's Clothiers is this Friday and Saturday only. Select from the best designers in the world, such as Samuelson, the best value in custom clothing. Also, custom Zegna cloth, the best fabric for sports coats. Come in to Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line.
This year, FanDuel is giving you a chance to win big every Thursday night with FanDuel Squares. It's the same Super Bowl Squares game you've always known, only way better. That's because your numbers aren't just randomly assigned. You get to pick them yourself. You can pick as many as you like. You'll get to see the odds beforehand, and you can bet them live during the game. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/Alex and bet on Squares. Plus, if you're new to FanDuel, you can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. when you place your first $5 bet. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
The Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. By legalizing sports betting, Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Bowling Warehouse is taking over KC with a mashup of football, bowling, drinks, and fun. And with 3 15-foot televisions in the hottest bar in town, there's absolutely no better place for watch parties, get-togethers, and happy hours. And what could be better than splashing down pins at your next business event or private party? Plus, Bowling Warehouse KC is convenient for everyone off 435 and State Line. Whether it's a fun night out or a way for your organization to unwind, make your reservation now at bowlingwarehousekc.com. It's time to fool around and find out.
Join the fans Cody and Gold tomorrow as they broadcast live from Community America Credit Union off 135th and Black Bob in Olathe. Take photos with Chief cheerleaders and Casey Wolf. Score some Chiefs gear and tickets to Monday's Chief game. All at Community America's Black Bob location in Olathe.
In business, success is never by chance. You know that better than anyone. So why settle for a marketing agency that gambles with your money? At Scale Marketing, we've been in your shoes. Our founders successfully owned and operated businesses long before becoming marketers. They understand the business of, well, business. We specialize in performance marketing for mid-sized B2C companies with teams of over 100 people, from traditional and digital marketing to media buying, data science, and creative production. Scale Marketing manages it all. Our tailored strategies drive measurable growth, turning your challenges into opportunities. Imagine your company leading the market, not just participating in it. That's what we do at Scale Marketing. Don't let your business growth plateau or underperform. Scale Marketing will pinpoint exactly what you need to focus on, ensuring your success isn't left to chance. Take your business to the next level with Scale Marketing. Visit scalemarketing.com today. That's scalemarketing.com.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
Who doesn't love getting something for free? Labor Day deals have arrived at the Home Depot, and right now you can get a free Milwaukee 18-volt extended capacity battery, $159 value, when you buy a select tool. Get longer runtime and more battery life so you can power all your fall projects. Shop Labor Day deals and get a free battery when you buy a select tool at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Limit 1 per transactions. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in store and online.
The Royals are on to the Division Series. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Whenever Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes speak, we move things around a little bit. That's why Chiefs Red Half Hour started a little bit later. We're also in the next couple of minutes expected to head out to Arrowhead and hear from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes ahead of their Monday Night Football game, and it's turning into hell of a Monday night. We'll talk more about it on Monday. I'm sure we're actually there. And how on earth are you guys balancing this thing? Are you going to a bar, multi-screen setup? What are you doing? You going to the
What's
Chiefs
your
game?
Monday
Are you just
plan?
going to tailgate at Arrowhead and just watch the Royals game in the parking lot at Arrowhead? We'll get to that on Monday. But what an epic showcase for Kansas City Monday night is about to be, where you got the Royals game starting at, 6:38, and then, of course, the Chiefs game a little less than an hour later at Arrowhead. Luckily,
on Monday Night Football.
Luckily, the Royals are actually in New York. Otherwise, we would have had some time differences and everything going on. The Royals would have had to play in the afternoon or something.
They've never really had this opportunity consecutively very often. The Chiefs should absolutely show a highlight if something good happens in the Yankees game on the Jumbotron.
I agree. I agree.
If Bobby Witt Jr. hits a home run, they should show it on the Jumbotron for everyone to see.
The whole pregame should have the game. They won't do that because they have their standard operating stuff, I'm sure. Like, they might show cuts, but at some point they reach their normal game day program. They got to run through there. But yeah, I mean, that's why I'm wondering for people if they're tailgating on Monday, if you're just going to hang in the parking lot till the Royals game is over.
And if you're the stadium, is your plan just to pull it up on YouTube TV, pull up TBS, and just try to stream watch it where they're going on? Because here's the good news, I guess, if you're, typically a baseball game is about 2.5 hours now? Yesterday's game was 3, but there were 78 pitching changes.
But that happens in playoff baseball a lot more. Yeah.
It certainly happens more. Happens less now that Terry Francona's not a manager, but it happens more than in a regular season game. But still, I mean, it's a balance. If you've already got your Chiefs tickets, you're like, damn, all right, Chiefs on Monday night. At least it's only game 2. Because if it was game 7 and the Chiefs playing at the same time, and actually the timing's working out really well. The Monday night game, okay, timing doesn't line up great. Guess what the Chiefs are on after Monday night? A bye week.
Yeah, that
the
part's
Chiefs
nice.
will not get in your way of Royals enjoyment the rest of the way. If they need 5 games, they'll play on Saturday for game 5. The following Monday will start up the next week for the Royals in the ALCS. The Chiefs won't play another game until that following Sunday. So you got a little bit of leeway in there to just enjoy the Royals for a bit.
And because of the bye week, it sets up where you would think of that Wednesday home game here at Kauffman, you're going to have some Chiefs players there. I don't think it'll be a ton of them because it's still a bye week. A lot of guys like to get out of town and go see their family or go on vacation. But Mahomes and maybe a few others, absolutely. I'm sure we'll see Mahomes, who's, of course, part of the ownership group, too. I can almost guarantee you he'll be at the game Wednesday night.
From the 816, my cousin is getting married Saturday at 4. He said, maybe she should stop being so selfish and move the wedding. I guess here's the question is, if they're sports fans, you could probably be rest assured that the game will be on somewhere at the reception, right? You could probably
Not every reception has TVs, though.
No, but I think I've seen people roll them in if it's a major sporting event, right? They were probably banking on the fact that when they planned this wedding a year ago, the Royals were coming off a 56-win season. They probably thought Saturday at 4 was safe, right? Unless people are Alabama, Georgia fans last week or whatever, they probably thought they were safe. Now, they're running into a problem. If you are a sports fan, I think you got to give people access to TV. If not, I don't have to tell you, man. That's a tough spot. Your sister's wedding's coming up in a month?
Yeah, the baseball season will be well over by then.
Okay.
It's middle November.
Okay, so you're safe. But if it had been this one, what's the play? Weddings at 4. On the phone, you check the score?
My guess is it would be checking the phone. I don't want to speak for them. My guess would be that, there would just not be a TV. It's still the wedding. You don't want people just standing in front of a TV the entire reception. You want people having fun and on the dance floor, etc. So my guess would be there would not be any sort of television.
Yeah.
If that scenario.
I'm just everyone's a little different.
We've had the whole fall wedding discussion. Normally it's for football reasons, not
You're
for baseball reasons.
You're a summer wedding guy.
Not for I'm a no wedding guy right now. I don't have no plans.
But if you were to get married, you'd be suggesting a spring or summer wedding.
But you know what? Places get booked up. Sometimes you got to do it when you can do it. That happens. You don't always have a choice on the specific date. You got your venue. Some places get booked up. You got the venue you like. Maybe they're not available in May.
Yeah, I'd say that. No, but again, maybe fall works for a variety of. Maybe they're not sports fans.
All right,
let's they don't care.
Go out to Arrowhead and hear from Andy Reid right here on 96.5 The Fan.
We're getting the swelling out of his knee, and then he's going to have further tests next week. So we really don't have anything to tell you from there. We'll see how these tests go next week, and once the swelling's out there. Congratulations to the Royals first. What a great job they've done to this point, and I know they're fired up to keep on going. So I know we're all glad to have them coming back here and having another chance to see him play. With that, we look forward to the challenge of playing the Saints. Good football team, well coached. Dennis does a nice job with that group, and their coordinators all three of them do a nice job with their phases, and we've just got to make sure that we have a good week of preparation here going forward. And then just on the business side of it, Clyde, you saw, was elevated. He's got a 21-day window. We'll just get him back into the swing of things here and see how he does. See how he does going forward here the next couple days. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Is there a little more sense of optimism with Rashid than there was a few days ago?
Yeah, I think it's just wait and see. Just is where we're at, and for his sake, we're really hoping that things work out, how for the best. But let's just see where it goes, and leave it up to the doctors to see. I'm definitely not a doctor.
What are the plans for Clyde going forward here?
Yeah, so we'll practice him today with the scout team, give him some reps there, and let him just kind of get back in the swing of things. He's in good shape. He's been working out, so just get him back into the football part of it.
Anywhere close with Vernier to getting him back to practice too?
I think that'll be a little bit here, yeah.
Andy, what sorts of things are you seeing when you've referred to a few times being close on a few things offensively? What are the things that stand out to you the most that are just off the table?
Yeah, by just getting rid of the penalties and those self-inflicted wounds, the turnovers, penalties, those hurt you at this level, and you've got to take care of that. And I've got to make sure that I'm putting the guys in the right position to do the right thing. So, and I think the coaches would tell you the same thing with that. And but that's where we're at. But it's close. We just got to keep rolling.
Rice has been just so important to you guys, and you won't have him for Monday. Just how much realistically does that change, even schematic, what you do, or do you stay the same with some of the replacement players?
Yeah, listen, I mean, Rashid's had a phenomenal year. Unfortunately, in this league, injuries happen and life goes on. So, we have always expected the next guys to step up and roll, and it's no different now. Is Rashid? There's not another Rashid. There's other guys though that are very, very good. So we'll be fine.
Andy, have you been through an experience quite like this, where what you project is not even one snap going into a season, let alone now into Game 5, you're not having your top running back, your two top receivers. Have you gone through an experience quite like this to start a season?
Yeah, I'm sure I have. I mean, I've been doing it a long time, so there's been injuries that have taken place, but I don't really dwell on that, Nate. I mean, I just kind of move on and go and wish the best to the kids, most of all, and we'll take care of business. Veach has done a good job of bringing people in here in depth and that. So just got to take care of business.
When you look at Derek Carr, what's he doing and how's he fitting in with that offense?
Yeah, he's doing a very nice job. He's always been a good player. I mean, there hasn't been a question from our standpoint on that part. So they're doing a good job of protecting him, and he's doing a good job of delivering it to their receivers, and they've got good skill players there. So and good running back who also was involved in the pass game and the run game. But he's done a very nice job. Yeah.
I don't know if Tyron will play, obviously, in the last game, but just wonder if you could speak to what he meant to sort of the defensive shift you guys had here. This also what you've seen in the 3 years from New Orleans.
Yeah, phenomenal player. I'll vote for him for the Hall of Fame going forward. I don't have a vote, but I would vote for him. So he's a tremendous leader. He actually makes this his home here. So I think when he's done, he'll probably come back here. So, but great kid, great player, brings a lot of energy. Yeah.
Coach, the other player that you've got on the NFI list with B.J. Thompson, how's he doing in his rehab, and is there still a possibility to come back?
Yeah, again, the doctors are monitoring him. He's doing good. to answer your question, he's doing good. He's in all the meetings and that. And, he's heading in the right direction, but we just have to see on that. I think time is a big part of that. We'll see how that goes.
One of the things you mentioned, being close on a couple things. Looked like Jawan Taylor had a couple of those kind of penalties that were a problem for him last year early. Was it just officiating crew kind of thing, or was he getting into some bad habits? What those are correct?
Yeah, he's got to fix those. I mean, he's got to fix those. That's bottom line. He's very quick off of the ball, and takes a lot of pride in that. But you can't be. You got to make sure you're not offsides. So he's got to take care of that part. He will.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, good.
All right, so that was Andy Reid speaking to the media. We're expected to hear from Patrick Mahomes in just a minute or so as well. At the beginning, if you caught that, Andy Reid said Rashee Rice, the only player who's not going to practice. The current plan is still to wait for swelling in his right knee to go down and then further testing next week. So we're still in this holding pattern.
Of course, you're listening to KFNZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2 in Kansas City right here on 96.5 The Fan. Yeah, he said no additional optimism. That seems to conflict with some of the reports that are like, maybe good news. Yeah. I just told you, you and I have decided we're going to operate as if Rashee Rice is unavailable to this team the rest of the year until, I don't know, mid-October, November of next year, probably most likely, based on the way that injury looked. If I get good news, great. I'll take the positives.
Sure.
But swelling going down to have to take a look at the injury is not super uncommon. And if Andy's not making it seem like he's overly optimistic that they're going to get something, then I'm not going to be either.
All right, let's go back out there and hear from the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes.
Back at the Rashee play where he got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
did you know in the moment how hard you got hit kind of in that? I mean, did you feel fortunate not to be hurt yourself?
No, I didn't notice it in the moment. I was more worried about trying to get the ball. But yeah, I mean, obviously, just trying to make a play, and it happens whenever you're trying to make tackles.
When you saw the replay, though, did you think, ooh?
No, I mean, when I saw the replay, I felt like shit that I hit Rashee. I mean, I think that's pretty much all. I mean, I wasn't really worried about myself. I was worried about hopefully his injury and hopefully that it wasn't as bad as it looked because I was the one that hit him.
Patrick, I asked Andy about Tyron, but just, I don't know if he's going to end up playing on Monday, but just what did he mean to your guys' locker room when he was here? What kind of interactions kind of stand out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think just me being a young player, especially when he got here, I mean, just seeing that type of leader, I think was something that I'll forever remember. The way he inspired guys, the energy that he played with. I mean, obviously he's a great football player. I mean, everybody can see that, but truly a great leader, one of the best leaders I've ever been around. And he pushed to get the best out of everybody every single day, and he treated practice like games. He tried to get better every single day, and that's something that has helped me become who I am. And so a great football player, man. And I'm hoping that he gets out there, not for me and my sake, because, I mean, he's a great football player, always around the ball. But I think Kansas City, getting to see him come back and be on that field again will be special for the city.
It stand out pretty early on that there were some traits that you could pick up early in your career?
Yeah, I mean, you sit there and watch those guys that, I mean, I watched him when he was in college and he dominated college football, and then get into the NFL and all the great plays that he made, and then being able to see him on a day-to-day basis is when you want to see those guys that are the top of the top and how they prepare every single day. And he was one of those guys that you knew why he was great when you saw him practice and how he went about his business.
You talked about how you guys are going to have to rely on Travis more without Rice on Monday. Just curious about Juju Smith-Schuster and Justin Watson and your rapport with them and how big they now become.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those guys are always the guys that do it the right way. I mean, they're always in the right position. They do what they're supposed to do, get guys lined up, and I think having those guys is a luxury because you know that they're going to be there, they're going to get open, and they're going to make plays when their numbers are called. And so I think Brett Veach did a great job of continuing to build within that receiving room. Obviously, not expecting to have these two kind of big injuries early in the year in that receiving room, but having the support of the guys to come in and step up and make plays whenever those guys aren't in there.
Speaking of Juju, when the Chiefs bring back a player who'd been here previously, Jody Fortson, I guess would be the latest example of that, and Kareem, how much are they able to hit the ground running? And like maybe a percentage basis do they have?
Yeah, I mean, they always have a good feel for our main stuff, our base concept stuff. Every year in the offseason, Coach Reid adds new stuff, and the offense coaches look around at what we can do better. And so they have to learn some of that type of stuff. But I think you've seen with the guys that we've brought back is guys that are very intelligent. They're able to pick up the offense quickly. And so when stuff like this last game happens, you can throw Juju in there. He can run some of the routes that Rasheed has, and he can get even and be in different positions maybe that he didn't practice all week because he prepares the right way and he's ready for his moment.
You injuries are part of the game, but you guys have been hit pretty hard so far this year offensively. What's the difficulty for you in adjusting to a lineup that's seemingly different every week?
I don't. Once the week goes on and you go through your game plan, it's usually pretty smooth because you have an understanding of the guys and what we're trying to do in the concepts of the plays during the game. Sometimes, especially how it happened this last game early, where obviously Rasheed's a huge part of the game plan. You have to kind of throw guys in there and try to make that timing up. And coach tries to get that done in practice. He tries to throw guys in certain situations, but obviously there's limited reps. But I thought the guys did a great job of accepting the challenge and being in there in those moments. And but Coach Reed does a great job of getting guys prepared and ready to go throughout a week of game plan. And we had an extra day this week, so I'm sure guys will be ready to go out there and play some great football.
You face a Dennis Allen defense, like in almost any week. Is there an expectation you guys are going to have to sort of do that methodical, work your way down type?
Yeah, I think just very intelligent coach. I mean, someone that does a lot of different things. He's a game plan specific coach. Someone that it's not all about his defense. He looks at the offenses and what they do best. He tries to take those away, and he's really good at it. And so he'll throw change-ups in there you might have not seen the entire season or in his past because he thinks this might work this week. So it'll be a great challenge for us. They play a physical team. They play extremely fast. And they have a lot of great players and veteran players, so they can kind of get away with stuff because they know what they can and can't get away with. So you got to make sure that you're really on top of every single check at the line of scrimmage and prepared for everything whenever you step to the football.
Can you talk about the big play, the 54-yard touchdown pass, what that did for the offense that day, and what it does for your receivers' confidence and the whole offense?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you hit those deep passes, it kind of opens everything up because defenses have to have more and more respect for any ability to score on one play. And it was big in that game. I mean, they were starting to get more and more downhill because we were running the ball and we weren't moving it and throwing it vertically. And so when we were able to hit that deep one, it kind of opened up the offense at least a little bit. And our goal is to continue to show that we can do that on a week-to-week basis. And even more than one time a game. So there was more opportunities in that game to go downfield, so I have to continue to push the ball down the field so that it opens up everyone else underneath.
We'll go a few more. We'll go Nick, Todd, and then Blair. Go ahead, Nick. Patrick, when you're building chemistry with a new receiver, a guy you haven't worked with in a while, how long does it normally take for you guys to see the field the same way?
It depends on every receiver. I think we have a lot of intelligent receivers in this receiving room right now, and so I feel like we're all seeing the field the same way. But now it's about me just having that trust and giving them those shots to make plays in traffic and stuff like that. And so, like I did with Xavier on that deep one, I think there was more opportunities to throw even to him later on in that game. And so just continue for myself to give him those chances to go out there and make plays and be the receiver that he is. And that goes throughout the entire receiving room, the tight end room, and the running back room.
A couple of non-football things. I mean, you're pretty excited about this Royals playoffs, kind of moving on here to be back here in town. What's your excitement level for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's great for the city. I mean, I've heard all the stories about how awesome the environment was the last time they were in the playoffs, and they're going to go up against a great baseball team in the Yankees, historic baseball team. And so I'm just excited for these guys. I mean, they're hungry. They're playing great baseball right now. And to be at the K, a sold-out crowd, hopefully, and get to see that October baseball there is going to be special.
And on our radio station this morning, known Yankee fan Garrett Dieter may be sniffing around for tickets. Is that appropriate for something like that?
Yeah, man, I'll let him be there because when we hopefully win, I'll get to talk trash. So no, it's he's a big Yankees fan. I think if the Yankees lost this series, he might have to move cities. So let's see if we can do that for him.
Keeping with the baseball theme, it just occurs to me that because of the sport you play, have you ever been to a postseason baseball game?
I've been to a postseason baseball game. Back when I was in high school, the Rangers made the World Series a couple of times, and so I got to see them lose, I think, Game 5, against the Giants one year, and then I watched them lose, or maybe win the game that I was at when they went up against the Phillies, and they ended up losing in Game 6 on that ball on the warning track. So, I mean, I've had some close heartbreaks there with the Rangers, but the Royals are going to turn it around for me.
All right, so that was Patrick Mahomes talking about a team that he's part of the ownership group for. That would be the Kansas City Royals, and of course we all know.
Hell yeah.
Home baseball in the postseason, finally back in Kansas City beginning on Wednesday. And I know he didn't specifically say it there, but yeah, I would expect him probably to be there during the bye week on that Wednesday night game against the New York Yankees. And anybody that did not live in this city, and he didn't, in 14 and 15, everybody now hopefully gets a chance to experience that next week, some form or fashion, whether you're fortunate enough to have tickets to the game or just to be in the city for a postseason series that also has a home game. Because it was one thing, the last couple of days we had a blast out at Jefferson's, and we had a great crowd there, and it was awesome, and you started to get those vibes again. But when the game is in your city that day, like when you wake up on Wednesday, and hopefully the Royals are up 2-0 at bare minimum. Hopefully it's a split going into that game. But when you wake up on Wednesday and knowing that there's a playoff game happening later that day in your city, it's a whole different animal, I think. I think you can sense that in the city, and we will sense it on Wednesday.
That tends to be the 2 longest days of practice for the Chiefs. The Wednesday-Thursday combo, that's when they do like bigger things. Who cares? He'll be out there on Wednesday. He'll be out there on Thursday. You will see the cut to Patrick Mahomes. And in a bye week, I know normally you try to plan some bye week travel. I guess that'll be the real question is, what was your pre-planned travel schedule for the bye week related to now what your plan is that the Royals are in the postseason? Now, if you're Mahomes, you can just cancel a flight, change a hotel. You can do whatever the hell you want.
He'll be there.
I guarantee he'll be at one of those games.
There, but the 53-man roster, it's not like there's going to be 20 Chiefs players at the game. I mean, it's going to be, let's see, maximum, 8? Like, that's like the max. Is probably like 5 to 10 of them.
Yeah.
That'll be at the Chiefs players. That'll be with Mahomes in a suite somewhere.
Yes.
My guess.
Give or take. That's probably in the range. But it's Mahomes is so careful in the way he talks in the media. One of the most honest sounding answers he gave in that entire thing was, hey, when you watch the play, looks like you could have almost gotten hurt on that play where you're trying to help get the football on that play. Were you thinking about that when you went to watch? He's like, no, I felt like bleep that I hit Rasheed. And you could hear it in his voice, like, I don't care about the rest of it. I felt bad because I injured another player on our team.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something that's bugged him throughout the week. I'm sure it has.
I think it would kill me.
I mean, just obviously it wasn't anything that was done intentionally or anything like that, but you still probably feel terrible to have something like that happen. It happens in sports, though, all the time. I mean, it's not
I know, but your own team, hurting
I'm sure that sucks.
Brutal.
It's the same thing we discussed with the Urseg-Vinny scenario from a month ago or whatever, right? Where that play, Urseg, people were criticizing him for the throw, even it was a fluky play. If Urseg doesn't throw it, Vinny never breaks the thumb. Now we can look back knowing that Vinny's back. And they're in the postseason. It doesn't seem as
still protecting his hand in the handshake line, by the way.
Yeah, it's like don't you dare try to high five me on that broken thumb. Absolutely
he's keeping
not.
that thing high and tight, protected.
It was like Joe Burrow when he hurt his wrist. He was only high fiving people with his left. He wasn't touching any. He wasn't high fiving anybody. Same sort of concept there.
Yeah.
Don't risk it.
Yeah, I understand it. But I mean, this is the thing. Like, Mahomes is going to get experience for the first time since he's been in Kansas City. Well, we haven't done in 9 years in the city. The Royals are in the ALDS. They got past the wild card round. They're the first team, as you mentioned earlier in the show, in Major League Baseball history to lose 100 games. And then, in addition to it, also win a playoff series. 3 have made the postseason. The other 2 didn't do anything. They didn't show up to the postseason and start making noise. They lost because they were still a flawed team. Not the Royals. They lost 100 games, have won a playoff series. And you had mentioned Vinny. How about this?
And there's a ground ball through that pulled-in infield, and it's 1-0 Royals as Massey scores.
Like, it just felt good to hear that again, I think, if you're a Royals fan, because it's just been too long since we kind of got to experience that. And, yeah, the vibes at Jefferson's last night were great. I think everybody's probably, starting to think, going to watch a playoff baseball game at a bar feels even different than watching a playoff football game at a bar in a way. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what it is.
It's the every single pitch and the silence right before a pitch is going to happen.
Pitch and you're
the silence, and then the crowd erupts, and it's a different level. We've all been to big time games at Arrowhead or at a bar for a Chiefs game, and there are definitely those moments. But playoff baseball, every pitch is just so intense, and that's what makes it great. And, overall for this team to be in this spot, you mentioned the historical significance. I mean, having 100 losses and then winning a playoff series, for that to never happen in a sport that's 100+ years old or whatever. That's what's really remarkable about it. And then Bobby Witt Jr. to put himself in the company of only one other player, period, since we've had American League, National League Baseball, that's Jimmy Fox, which is to drive in the game-winning run in your first 2 postseason games. Like, what? Like, I almost expect him to do it again on Saturday. I mean, that's where we're at with this kid. It's ridiculous how the moment's never too big for him, and he can carry a team, and that's why he is, other than Shohei, there's not even a debate, he's the best player in baseball.
So,
and that is why this team is in this position as well, and why, as we've said time and time again, you can enjoy this moment even more, not only because it's been 9 years, but because this is a homegrown talent that's coming through in the postseason, that signed a massive extension in the offseason. You're not worried about, man, yeah, but in like a month and a half, who knows what his future is. No, we know where his future is. It's in Kansas City.
Yeah, I think we can talk even more about him individually. Obviously, I think one of the biggest storylines out of the entire wild card series was they decided to go into a series and be like, well, let's see if Bobby Witt Jr. can beat us. Well, that's a stupid strategy. They let him hit again. He didn't end up coming through, but they let him hit again with a runner on second base when I thought for sure they'd walk him. I was like, how do you keep throwing to him? What kind of decision-making is this? Going into a series being like, well, Bobby Witt Jr., we'll let him beat us, is just a bad, plain and simple, a bad strategy by him. That's just not a good approach. But in baseball all the time, we talk about like, hey, one guy can't be a savior. I know he's the number 2 overall pick. He can't do it. Dude, he's been in the major league level for 3 years, and in the 3rd year, he already got them to a playoff team and a win in a playoff series. Between the two stories, I would say, obviously, one is they kept pitching to Bobby. The other one is that the Royals pitching, apparently, is now just like 17 consecutive Cy Young Award winners coming in one right after the other. The first game was Cole Reagan's. Cole damn Reagan. 6 innings, blood, ice cold, blood in his veins, 8 strikeouts, and then they just went to the 3 horses you would expect them to get a win. Game 2. They only got 4 1/3 out of Lugo. He only gave up the 1 run, but they only got 4 1/3 out of Lugo. And I'll be honest, when that game went out there, I'm like, okay, well, you guys know you're gonna have to score more than 1, right? It's 1-1. You're gonna have to get like 5 more here if we're going bullpen the final 4 2/3. And what do? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. They didn't let up a run the rest of the way.
Yeah.
They include Zerpa and Schreiber and bases loaded situations and a whole bunch of trouble.
But that scenario with Bobby and why, hey, they keep giving him an opportunity to beat him, and he did. If I know Salvi would be batting behind him, but the way Salvi's hitting as well, if Vinny's not in the lineup, I don't know. I don't know if we I don't know if we get that same moment, that same opportunity. So him being in the lineup in that regard already helps. But to your point about the bullpen, since September 21st,
it's about what, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks?
They've given up 1 earned run.
What?
In almost 40 innings.
Doesn't make any sense.
And
based on where they were,
that's the thing. I know the parts have changed since May, since July, since August, and so it's not the same bullpen as those months. But all year long, the bullpen was like the Debbie Downer negative story of the year. And, oh, man, this is going to cost them this. They're not going to be able to get it done.
It wasn't unfair, by the way. We weren't making things up. The bullpen was bad.
It was terrible. But now it is a massive strength of this team, and they have 5 pitchers that they trust and they should trust. That throughout now a best-of-5 series coming up in the Bronx and then ultimately in Kansas City. Hopefully the Royals can clinch it, obviously, right in Kansas City next week. But those are the 5 guys that they're going to roll with. And honestly, unless something weird happens, they really shouldn't have to go much outside of those 5. It is Urseg, it's Bubic, it's Schreiber, it's Serpa, it's Sam Long. That's what they rolled with.
A lot of lefties, and then when they need their righties, they tend to go to Schreiber and look other directions. But it's like I'm going back through. So right now in the playoffs, the Royals are the only team to not allow to run in the bullpen. They got a 0.00 ERA. So that back to September 21st, they haven't allowed one yet. Now it's only been 2 games. Every other team has allowed at least 1 run in relief. So they've given things up. Matter of fact, there have been 6 home runs hit in this postseason from bullpen teams. There have been 27 walks issued by bullpens in the postseason. There have been problems. There have generally been issues with the bullpen so far in there. And if you go back through, what do you think? You think the Yankees got some badass bullpen? It's good. It's fine. But it was in the last 2 months, it was like league average. Cleveland's a different conversation. They're not playing them, so we don't have to worry about it. But you can go into a series now. The Royals, once again, have the starting pitching advantage. And I think the Royals have the bullpen advantage. So of the 3 areas,
there you go.
They're better in 2 of the 3 areas now. For a while, we thought it was always going to be 1, And we thought they might be disadvantaged in 2. Maybe if we're lucky, even. Now the bullpen is treating it like they have 2 of the 3 advantages. That feels like a big swing.
913-586-7965. That's the Jay Southland Tow Service text line. From the 816, someone says, hey, when would Brady Singer pitch? Well, if all goes well, he may not have to. And that's something we didn't expect to say. But if you think about the way the off days line up,
they don't actually need him to start.
If things go well and none of the starters have a terrible outing or whatever, you don't have a deep extra inning game or something, you look at the off days. We know Walker's pitching Saturday. We know Cole Reagans is going Monday night in game 2. Well, game 3 is on Wednesday. You can go right back to Lugo. All right, so unless he has another short outing, really short outing, then...
And then again, it's on Friday, which means you could go to
go back to
again if you needed to.
I mean, there's always weird scenarios that can come up, but they may not need to do that. And that's why you also feel good that because they did not have to get to a game 3 this afternoon, everything is set up really, really nicely for their rotation and obviously for the bullpen as well.
Gets 2 days rest.
But it's playoff baseball. Like all of a sudden there could be a game where it goes extras or it turns into a high-scoring affair or the Royals starter just doesn't have it that night, and all of a sudden we're having a different conversation about Singer. But right now, why would I believe that's going to be the thing? This pitching staff has shown they're going to be at every game. The question to me is going to be whether or not the offense has any sort of breakout in this series. But the pitching is going to keep the Royals in every single game in this series, and that's what makes them so dangerous and why the Yankees should be really, really, I think, nervous about this matchup.
It used to sound like a threat to be like, well, then they're going to have to go to those other bullpen arms. I'm like, so what? Daniel Lynch hasn't let up an earned run since he came back in relief.
True.
He's been unhittable since he came back to be a reliever. Brady Singer was last in the bullpen in 2022. You know what he was there? Effective. He was a very good reliever in that role. That actually seems to suit him at times, similar to the way it's suited Daniel Lynch. Like, it's not a threat. I can't believe they are 7 deep in the bullpen. Like, there are a number of guys I trust. Look, I don't want to see Schreiber every night. I don't maybe want to see Long every night. I wouldn't trust him to get the job done 8 out of 8 times, 10 out of 10 times, but I trust him as much as any other bullpen in Major League Baseball right now, and that is a wild thing to say. Of all of the remaining teams, other than maybe the Guardians, who are the league's best bullpen by a mile, of every other team in the Major League Baseball playoffs, I trust the Royals bullpen as much, if not more, than any other team remaining. And that is a wild notion that I would have never even considered 30 days ago. But it's also why I am more confident in their ability to win this series than I've been. They just finished winning a series 1-0 and 2-1. Like, they couldn't have let up a run and still won. It wasn't even possible. They couldn't even give up 1 run in game 1. They couldn't give up 2 runs in game 2 and didn't in either game.
And they're going to go up against a Yankees team that we know across the entire season, their offense and the power in the lineup is all legit. It's all there. What you hope, though, is the trend continues of not only the Yankees, but typically a lot of teams, if you're relying on the home run ball. By the way, the Orioles were 47% of their runs all year were by the home run. Now, they got 1 run yesterday from Cedric Mullins on a home run. But if the home run ball's not there, and with the starting pitching the Royals have, you feel like you're not going to give many of those up, it can be a challenge. You also hope that the 8-day layoff or whatever it's going to be for the Yankees by the time we get to Saturday, that's a problem for them. That goes back to the comments from Cody Decker when he joined us yesterday and back in August. Like, that's a team you actually don't mind facing as much because they're so reliant on Aaron Judge hitting those home runs. Don't get me wrong. I'm guessing he will hit a home run at some point, spoiler, in this series.
You think so?
I will be... I'll tell you this: if Aaron Judge does not hit a home run in the best of 5, the Royals are winning the series. Yes. Do you disagree?
No, I mean, I know they got other guys who can hit a home run too. It's not like Juan Soto stinks. But yeah, if Aaron Judge goes the entire series without a home run, I don't assume they're winning 3 of the 5 games.
Yeah, and I know tomorrow we're going to talk more specifically just about the matchup with the Yankees. But just to that point, real quick, you and I both saw this today. Career stats against Lugo, Reagans, and Waka. Aaron Judge 1 for 28.
It's pretty bad.
Juan Soto, 8 for 26, 2 home runs, 307.
Decent.
You know, but Volpe, 0 for 11. Jazz Chisholm, 1 for 18. Gleyber Torres, 4 for 29.
These are not... That's pretty bad. That's really bad. What the hell happened to Judge in those matchups? He's getting worked over. Now, they faced him twice this year. He saw those guys twice this year. I mean, Walker's been around the league forever, so I mean, certainly he would have seen some of Judge somewhere along the way.
I just love it's the Yankees too. There's just so many. I understand that when we had Vern on, he's right. Like, if you're 20 years old, you probably don't hate the Yankees as much as someone that's 50 years old or whatever. Like, I still just think it's pretty easy to hate the Yankees. You look at the
New York
payroll.
market.
It's New York. It's the East Coast sports fan. It's all of that. Aaron Judge is a likable person. I don't disagree with that.
He is.
He's also great at baseball. And, Juan Soto is fun to watch as well. But it's still the freaking Yankees. I can't stand them. I can't stand the Yankees at all. You look at any other team that's available, AL, NL, the rest of the way, other than the Dodgers, there's not another team alive still in the postseason. That includes the Mets, who are playing the Brewers today, that I despise more.
That's because the Yankees and the Dodgers are the poster child of what is wrong with baseball. Oh, look at us. Do you know the Detroit Tigers active payroll? Do you know what it is?
Only because people have been circulating it. I'll let you go ahead. I'll play along.
$18 million total. Like, that's it. They're paying nobody. The Yankees, however's payroll is $300 million. And so is the Dodgers. They are the poster child for what is wrong with the sport. There is a disparity in resource. Because somebody said, hey, you can't keep saying the Yankees don't matter in the postseason. They played in 3 of the last 7 ALCSs. I'm like, they bought those. And when they had their chance to get in there, they couldn't finish the job. They have not won a World Series in 15 years, and they are what is wrong with baseball. So do I want the Royals, a team with a payroll a little north of $100 million, to take down a team who pays 3 times that, who has $600 million players on their team, might pay another $600 million player in Juan Soto this offseason? My entire life had $300 million pitchers on their roster. Yeah, I'd like to see them go down. They are the easiest team.
Of course, there's college football teams that have a higher NIL budget than what the Tigers are paying their postseason roster.
Doesn't surprise me. I mean, again, this is what's kind of good. Like, this is the good story about baseball is scrappy teams can still find a way.
That's
there
why
are
the
teams who pay a
postseason's
lot of
fun.
money. Yeah, that is why I like playoff
I
bracket.
mean, like tonight, the Brewers are playing the Mets, and it's the last wild card game. It's a best of 3. It's deciding game 3. The Mets took game 1. Brewers won last night. I don't know about you. Just by default, I'm rooting for the Brewers. They're a smaller market team. I'm rooting for them to beat the New York Mets, who have a massive payroll, even though the Mets have been a fun story in the second half of the season. And Lindor, after a terrible first 3 weeks, has been sensational.
They have the highest payroll in baseball,
but their payroll
million.
is that. And I'm always going to root for a team like Milwaukee, like tonight.
Here's how baseball's broken. All right, you know all the teams. Everybody pretty much knows the teams remaining in the baseball playoffs at this point because the Royals are still in it. Mets, number 1 payroll in baseball. The Yankees, $309 million, number 2 payroll in baseball. The Astros just got eliminated, 3rd highest payroll. Phillies, still in it, 4th highest payroll. 5th highest payroll. Dodgers, still in it. Atlanta, 6th highest payroll, still in it. Like, it's a joke. If you have money, you get to keep playing baseball. If you don't, you typically do not get to keep playing baseball. The Royals, coming into the season, had actually, right now, after they took on some payroll, the 20th highest payroll. The Brewers 21.
Well, the Yankees and
Go
Dodgers have
Royals,
won
go
2
Brewers,
titles
you
in
know?
20 years. The Yankees and Dodgers have won 2 titles in 20 years. You
I'm
know,
glad
so
when
it's
they
not a
fall flat on
default.
their
Like
face.
it always
But
is.
Houston's one of the highest payroll teams, and they're always. I'm saying
Yeah.
it gives you a far better chance.
Of course,
it
to
doesn't
get in
guarantee
the
you the
dance.
crown, but it does give you.
You're
a way
right that
better
baseball's the only sport that has these sorts of numbers. Like, you don't see payroll numbers get brought up for one individual player. Like Josh Hader, the guy that technically lost the Astros the game yesterday, makes more money individually than the entire Tigers payroll.
Detroit was 26th this year in payroll. Miami, the Rays, Pittsburgh, and Oakland were the only teams that were worse. So, I mean, they're doing this through grit a lot of times. They still have to spend but a third of what the other teams get to spend. That's nuts. Could you imagine in the NFL if the Chiefs spent $300 million, but the Raiders only spent $100? I mean, how could you afford anything? It doesn't even make any sense. It's a bad system. Go Royals. Screw the Yankees, you know?
Royals are underdogs. You're probably not surprised to hear that. It was the same case in the Orioles series. The Royals are now 14-1 to win the World Series. They were plus 10,000 to win the World Series at the beginning of the season. They're now 4-1 to win the AL. They're plus 190 to win Saturday night. So pretty big dogs. If you want something to feel a little bit better, game-by-game underdogs. Overall, 39-30 straight up since 2018 in terms of that particular round. And game 1 home favorites, they are 30-17. So game 1's ones where typically, that's why on the flip side, if you can steal game 1 on the road, like, makes sense, right? But
starts feeling like the series is yours.
You all of a sudden are obviously in a great spot if you're the Royals,
Yeah,
knowing that Reagans is pitching game 2. I think it's important that Reagans is pitching in Yankee Stadium, given the porch that exists there in right field. I think you absolutely, one way or the other, Reagans had to pitch in New York, and I totally am good with them pitching Monday. I think I was talking with Bob this morning with Dusty, and he wanted him to pitch on Saturday. No,
3 days rest?
3 days
No
rest
reason.
coming off of cramps? No.
I'm good.
I don't need
Monday's
that. You pitch
fine.
on Monday. Waka also, by the way, Waka's been really, really good, and that dude has plenty of postseason experience.
Tons.
So I'm not worried about the stage and being in New York and everything because it's going to be an insane atmosphere in New York as well on Saturday. All right, coming up next, we'll get back to the Chiefs for a little bit with Danan Hughes. He, of course, is on the call Monday night right here on 96.5 The Fan with Mitch and Josh Klingler as the Chiefs take on the Saints. We'll ask Danan about the wide receiver room now, where it's at with Rashee Rice not being part of the picture, and what he sees from New Orleans offense, who is still the best points per game offense in football.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. It seems like everything we hear these days is about political races, and yet there's a far more important race that you run for yourself every day. It's the race to be the best that you can be. But if your libido is low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you've got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're losing that race, and maybe even that your best days are behind you. But the truth is that they're likely not, because if you're feeling like this, it's probable you're simply suffering from low testosterone, a condition that affects a huge percentage of men as we age. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. We've successfully treated thousands of men for the condition, and if you're like most guys, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. Better sleep patterns, higher energy, improved mental clarity, more productive workouts, and your libido will likely increase as well. So get back to winning your race by calling us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Hi, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being part of a team. A group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metalworkers, local number 2, are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. We'll test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Using the Labor Day weekend to get some work done? We got you. Stop by any store to save on oil, fuel system cleaner, wipers, and more. Looking for an end of summer wash? We've got deals for that too. Don't want to leave the garage? Get same-day delivery on AutoZone.com. Do Labor Day your way by getting something done at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Circa Resort and Casino when KC travels to Vegas. Calling all KC football fans to Vegas. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October as we huddle up at Overhang Bar, catching some of the game day action at the world's largest sportsbook or lounge at Stadium Swim. Book your experience today. Visit CircaLasVegas.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
I love you, KC. This is why I wanted to come here and stay. This means everything. We're just getting started.
Bobby Wood Jr. last night in the locker room as the Royals advanced to the ALDS Saturday night in the Bronx, taking on the Yankees right here on 96.5 The Fan. And we know Monday night's going to be a special night in Kansas City. You got the Chiefs Monday Night Football game against the Saints at Arrowhead here on 96.5 The Fan. You've got Royals Game 2 of the ALDS going on over on The Fan AM as they take on will be at that point, I guess, Cole Reagan's against. I don't know if the Yankees have put up their number 2 starter or not.
I don't think they have.
I haven't seen
you know
that.
what? I think they did. I just don't remember who it is now.
Gotcha. So it is going to be a fun week ahead for Kansas City. And let's go out to the hotline and welcome in former Chiefs wide receiver, Chiefs color analyst for the radio network, and right here on 96.5 The Fan, Danan Hughes. He's presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue. How about Monday night, man? I mean, I know you're busy, but you got a Royals game going on as well about an hour or so before you guys get going.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, man. I mean, this is a special time, and I want to go back to a comment I've always made in regards to, since Patrick Mahomes has been here, like, there's a generation of people that I think this is probably normal. Like, and there's a generation of kids. It's not. So yeah, we should relish it in the moment. We should, just savor everything about this, because football and baseball at the same time, pertinent games. Monday Night Football kind of reminds me of the day we got Brady benched, when I think that was at the same time as some magical baseball across the park as well. So, yeah, this is fun. This is going to be great.
Yeah, I think it was that Monday Night Patriots game. The next day was the wild card game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they beat them 40-10 or whatever. And then, but that was still that was Alex Smith, and that was certainly they were a lot better than they had been. But it wasn't the 2 biggest stars in their sport, right? Other than Shohei Ohtani, Bobby Wood Jr. is one of the 3 biggest stars in the entire sport. I think he's the second best player in the entire sport, and Patrick Mahomes is the best player in his sport. I think that's what stands out, Danan, is not only do they have 2 good teams at the same time, they have 2 of the biggest stars in their respective sports.
Oh, yeah, definitely stands out. I mean, those guys have pretty much been linked together, whether it's through their endorsements and, sponsorship of Community America Credit Union, just their age, their appeal. There's just so much to love about each one of them, and obviously they show it all on the field. They've been exemplary in the community as well. So, all across the board, definitely a lot for us to be proud of in the Chiefs/Royals kingdom. And it's going to be fun to watch. Just to be able to see him on this stage, this is his first opportunity on the playoff stage. He's already come through in the clutch in the postseason so far. So, like, I just think it's really cool. And then to see each guy retweeting the other guy's posts and how they just kind of bounce things off of each other, how they are. I've seen Bobby Witt in pregame. I was down on the field when they played the Angels and seeing him interact with fans and signing autographs and being patient. Then obviously we know what Patrick is with his Mahomes Foundation. I mean, it's just, yeah, we get caught up in the X's and O's. We get caught up in the wins and losses, the batting averages, the MVPs, et cetera. But as far as the total package, each of those guys have been phenomenal. We got a lot to be proud of.
No question. As we're talking to Danan Hughes here on 96.5 The Fan, a little while ago, Danan, we heard from Patrick Mahomes, and he was asked about the play, of course, the interception that unfortunately ended up leading to an injury there for Rashee Rice. We don't know the full extent. Obviously doesn't look good for him. And then Mahomes was asked about that sequence and how he felt, and he said, I feel like bleep about it. Were you ever in a spot as either yourself or a teammate where, it's a fluky play and you end up accidentally hurting a teammate of yours, and I'm sure you feel terrible about it?
Yeah, there's definitely been times where it's been friendly fire, where there's collisions on special teams or, unfortunately, maybe even in practice where you get tangled up with a guy, there's no ill intention, but you're just trying to make a football play. And that's the name of the game. I mean, we see guys collide in baseball in the outfield or things just happen. And I know based on the nature of that, Patrick really has to feel extra bad because he threw the interception. He's the one that tried to go and make the hit. It was an outstanding play by Rashee Rice, an effort to dislodge the ball. And but then to come up like that, that's something that he'll relive in his mind. I know that there were times when I played and I had injuries, and all you do is almost like when you lose a game. You just rethink, man, what could I have done differently? Could I have seen him quicker? Could I have just gone airborne and instead of planting my foot in the ground? Like, all of those things are things that just kind of go through your mind because you wish it would never happen. It was so fluky at the same time, but it's unfortunate because I think he was really emerging or has emerged as our number one, but then actually being a star on the complete NFL level at that wide receiver position with the numbers he was putting up, with the dependability that he had with Patrick, the relationship, obviously the numbers not being as high for Travis Kelce, so it almost amplified his play as well. And then we're undefeated. So, like, all of that encompassed together makes it really, really tough. And who knows how things are going to unfold with him getting back on the field, when he'll get back on the field. Obviously, he's got the legal stuff going on and potential suspension, et cetera. Like, there's a lot that's happening, and it's unfortunate.
Speaking of former Chiefs wide receiver Danan Hughes and current color analyst here on 96.5 The Fan, what do you make of the Saints? First 2 weeks, they're dropping 50 essentially on everybody. They're scoring less than 20 points a game in back-to-back losses against Philadelphia and at Atlanta. Where do they rank in the scary team factor? First 2 weeks, you'd have been like, oh, boy, that Monday night game's looking a lot different. But the offense has come crashing back to earth there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a scary team for different reasons. When they were 2-0, they were scary because we always could tell that their defense with Cam Jordan and the Honey Badger, that their defense was always going to be stellar. And they've shown that kind of consistently. But when they were putting up those boatloads of points, that's when it really was a concern. Like, oh wow, what is this team, and who is this? Who is this team that I wouldn't say we thought would be a pushover for Monday Night Football, but we kind of wondered if it was going to be a team, that if you looked at the first 5 games, I don't know initially when the schedule came out that you thought, well, this is going to be a tough game or the toughest of the 5. But then as they started, you saw them put the numbers up offensively, and that's what really opened my eyes is that, they can put numbers up in chunks, and Shaheed and Olave. I mean, they have some playmakers, and Derek Carr was playing out of his mind as well. But then they've come back down to earth over these last 2 weeks and figured out ways to lose games. And we've seen that with the Chargers. I mean, heck, Brendan Staley would still have a job if he knew how to not lose games when they were supposed to be winning them, And that's kind of what you saw over the last couple of weeks is Like they could literally be 4-0. They could be with us and the Vikings as undefeated teams, and maybe in an argument they probably should be. If you don't give up the big play to Dallas Goedert, and then you don't allow the Falcons, to escape with a win there, like they could be 4-0. So they are a good team. I think they are probably of the better 2-2 teams in the league, and we're going to have our hands full. And you got some incentive with the Honey Badger coming back, Willie Gay Jr. Like there's extra storylines, and then they don't want to be in a position where they're losing 3 straight games.
For the Chiefs offense, wide receiver-wise, is this just going to be an approach similar to last year now with the Rashee Rice injury? Is this hey, Justin Watson is going to be asked to on a third down, they might need him for one big conversion. They might need Juju for a big third down conversion, and they're going to have to piece this thing together.
Yeah, I think so. What I would like to see is, and I think it would bode well for the offense, is that if we have a receiver, kind of like what we saw with Justin Watson last year at times, stretch the field. Like it cannot be just Xavier Worthy's the only one that's running down the field and everybody else is just running across the field and hoping to get 5-yard catches and turn them into 15-yard gains. Like I don't think that's going to bode well for our offense. So those other guys, like you mentioned, Juju, McCole, obviously Justin, he's made some plays deep down in plays and in opportunities in the past. Like you got to stretch the field. That to me, that was one of the big assets of having Rashee Rice, is that he can run horizontally, but he can also go vertically, like we saw against the Cincinnati Bengals. You lose that, so somebody else has got to fill those shoes to make those plays.
Danan, make sure you charge your phone for Monday. That way you can keep an eye on that Royals game before the Chiefs game starts.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there'll be a lot of people doing the same, so I'll be able to kind of lean over and look on Mitch's phone or somebody else's in the booth.
I'm hoping they show some of the highlights on the Jumbotron if something good happens.
Oh, I absolutely believe they will. I mean, that place will go. I mean, I've been at Arrowhead Stadium. We've been at Super Bowls. We've been for AFC championships, and we've got the decibel level and the record and all that. But when I was at that Oakland A's game, wild card game,
yeah,
like when it erupted at Kauffman, like that was the loudest that I felt like I've ever been a part of in the stand. So the fan base, whether they're at the game or they are down at the Power and Light or wherever, it's going to be a fun Monday, and I'm sure it'd be smart for the Chiefs to show some Royals highlights during timeouts.
No doubt about that. Danan, appreciate it, man. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll check in next week.
All right, sounds good, guys.
There you go. That's Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver, current color analyst for the Chiefs Radio Network. You'll hear him on 96.5 The Fan right here, Monday night. Mitch Oltis, Danan Hughes, Josh Klingler, Dan Israel. Pregame coverage starts at 4 o'clock on Monday.
That's a former Chief who played at Arrowhead, who has been calling games at Arrowhead for years, telling you that the loudest building he feels like he's ever been in was the 2014 wildcard game. It's the loudest I've ever been in, because I felt like Kauffman shook that day. Specifically, the loudest moment, I swear, was the Eric Hosmer Bowl to left center field, squeezed between the two outfielders, the triple. That was the moment when I was like, is this building going to collapse? It felt so like you couldn't hear yourself blink. If you think it wouldn't have mattered, it was so loud in that moment. I can't wait.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
Wednesday we're going to play out baseball again. Aren't you excited?
That's what's so great. Yeah, I mean, we all have memories from that game. I mean, after the Royals win, hugging people you don't even know after the game. Like
no strangers in that moment.
No, you just did it. Like it just happened. The joy that this city felt. We got a little taste of that, I think, even for these road games against the Orioles. But now there are no more doubters out there. There are no more people I think are waiting to jump on. Everybody's all in now. It doesn't matter where you were at a month ago with this baseball team. Everybody is all in on the 2024 Kansas City Royals that are heading to New York to take on the Yankees. And then, they come back home on Wednesday for at least one home game. Maybe they need one on Thursday. We'll see. But it is going to be really, really special. And then Monday night is just incredible showcase for the city. And
sorry if you like sports and don't like Kansas City, because you're going to get a lot of it.
The emotions on Monday, the stress level on Monday, all of it. And hopefully what brings plenty of joy on Tuesday, right? That's what we're hoping for. Everybody's feeling good on Tuesday, because, things went really well. But it's going to be a fun but I think stressful Monday for a lot of people in Kansas City between the Chiefs trying to stay undefeated and, of course, at this point, most importantly, the Royals trying to, at that point, either go up 2-0, get a sweat, get a split, whatever the situation is that Monday night. We don't know. We'll find out Saturday how
Either way,
start.
going into it, we're going to feel that way because it's either they're trying to go up 2-0, try to avoid 2-0, whatever. You're like, oh, God.
People want to know on the text line, were you turning down public high fives? Yesterday, you said you're not a public
I gave one high five.
You're not a public high five guy, and people said, private high fives? But that day, were you a public high five?
I gave a high five.
Okay.
I just said, like, generally speaking, that's not always been my move. I didn't say I'm anti or would never. When the moment calls for it, I'll be there. I was not the loudest person. I think Dusty was the loudest person.
Yeah.
He was like standing on top of tables. He might have been like causing a scene. Borderline causing
Yesterday?
a scene. Yes.
The video's out there.
Like the drum line,
someone said, "Who was it with the roar?" They thought that was me roaring. No, I think that was Speck. He was the one video. If you go and watch the video,
Speck had a roar.
If you go back in the video at the beginning, there's someone that had like a pretty loud roar. Now the camera at that point was on Bob and I, and I made noise, but there's no way that was me from that far away.
Sure?
I'm 90% sure, not 100%.
I mean, I was right behind Speck. I don't remember making a roar sound.
Somebody else did.
Maybe I did.
Somebody else. It wasn't me. There's no way it picked that up from that distance. So I don't think it was me. But we had a great time at Jefferson's yesterday, and we'll see what we got in store for next week, obviously. I think our plan is maybe to be out of Kaufman. Tomorrow, I know we're going to be somewhere, too. If you want to stop by and just say hello and kick off a Red Friday in Kansas City.
We're all over the city this week.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be at Community America Credit Union, 135th in Black Bob in Olathe. We'll be down there. Casey Wolf, Chiefs cheerleaders. I'm told amazing hamburgers are about to be grilled.
They got a grill set up, and it's supposed to be nice outside, which is where we're going to stash ourselves.
And I think we'll have a couple T-shirts as well for the station with us. So if you're in that neck of the woods tomorrow,
we'd love
join
to
us
see
at Community America.
Yeah, we were at Jefferson's, Community America. Presumably we'll be outside of Kaufman maybe next Wednesday.
Depending on game times, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
fun times.
We're gonna make a little tour around the city.
Fun times to be a sports fan, and certainly to be doing sports talk radio in KC. That's for sure.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Over on the text line, 913-586-7965. Of course, you can hit us up on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook at the Fan 965. We live stream the show. We're actually on camera today, not our figurines. You said your own mom got confused about how we were doing the video stream.
When we're not in studio, we have our old 3D printed, and they're actually us, like in terms of it's a scan of us. And she and others scrolled through Facebook, and they're like, I saw you guys just in front of a window. What was going on? I'm like, go back and watch the video, please. I literally said it like that. I'm like, go back and watch.
Looking a little stiff there.
Like, go back and watch the video. It was a figurine. I thought about today starting the show in studio and just purposely have the camera only on the figurine still, just to see how long. While Cody is in person, just to see how long anybody would say anything about
There are people who were making jokes that I should have had you, Gold, setting up like some sort of a like a table, like screwing in something, like building something, and having Cody in a line.
Now you're putting them in action shots?
Somebody texted in that we needed to line up some bobbleheads and have you actually in line,
Drew,
Cody.
tomorrow you can, I guess, do whatever you want.
We'll be on remote again.
We will. We will not have the cameras with us.
So the question I have for you today, though, is related to my favorite tweet of the entire night. Now, look, there were a lot of great ones, man. Bobby Witt Jr., Q, Salvi letting out that big yell. But the best one of the night came over on Instagram, where Vinny Pasquantino, who sent out exactly one tweet after or during that playoff series, was an Instagram post. Sorry, not a tweet. This one was Instagram. Instagram post of a photo full of a table full of Taco Bell that said, ever seen what $200 in Taco Bell looks like? Here's a sneak peek with all the stuff out there. So the question I have for you is, in honor of Taco Bell, if you can't go out to eat, what is the best at-home late night snack? We're talking after 1 a.m. Because if I say what's the best late night after 1 a.m., all of us are answering Taco Bell or a QT taquito or like the 5 things we know are available at 1 a.m. from a Uber Eats or a driving situation. I'm saying you're at the house, you're wishing for a snack, it's 1 a.m., you've had a few drinks. What is the best at-home snack?
At home? So 2 things. One, if you got the air fryer, man, some mozzarella sticks, you can pop in the air fryer.
Mozzarella
air fryer
sticks,
is perfect for this.
You get marinara? You got marinara all the time?
Well, I don't need marinara.
No,
for
no marinara?
Sticks. I don't need them. No, I don't have to use marinara for the mozzarella sticks. I have sometimes, just depends. But you don't have to have
mozzarella sticks at 1 a.m.?
Absolutely. Or the other option is just another frozen item. It's 1 a.m. You just have it around the apartment.
Ice cream, man.
I need food.
Ice cream is your answer.
I need like food, but that's interesting.
I want food
it'd be
too.
like a frozen pizza. That's the other
Like a
option.
Totino's, like a party pizza?
Tombstone or whatever.
I think
yeah.
my answer is cheese and crackers.
That's filling you up.
I could eat. Well, I mean, at 1 a.m., I'm not trying to like eat a whole ass meal. It's a snack, you know.
You gotta,
Cheese and cracker, like specifically the buttery club cracker.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good buttery club cracker. What? This is no good.
No, I agree.
Green box.
No, I agree. I just don't know.
green box?
I'm just thinking like you're hungry. You know, it's 1 a.m. You've been drinking and you're hungry. The crackers aren't doing it for me.
Yeah, that is tough.
Snack. Well, then I mean, just I'll have a couple. You know, just to this will fit the brand perfectly. I'll have a couple. You know, grabs of the Tostitos. You know,
People say PB&J maybe on the list, or one of those Jimmy
the
Dean frozen
Uncrustables.
breakfast croissant sandwiches.
Uncrustable.
Uncrustable wouldn't be bad at that time of night. If there was a time to eat it, that would feel like a pretty good window. I think popcorn is always way up there. It's not a filling one, but it takes so long to eat. It like feels like you're you're working. Popcorn's pretty regularly on the list.
You said ice cream, Drew.
I think ice cream could be a go-to. Popcorn's a good one too. I love popcorn. So if you get like those mini bags, if you have like the mini bags, it's good. Like
cheese and crackers is
that's my answer.
That is an interesting answer. I never would have guessed.
That's a great. I'm telling you, man, it's great. Hits the spot at that time. Over on Twitch, grilled cheese or hot dog, bowl of cereal, a really common one. We're seeing that on the text line. And on Twitch, Phantom says instant ramen. I feel like I don't want to work for the food at that time, I'll say. Like, it doesn't take much to boil water and throw some ramen in. That's like one more step than I want to make to eat this food.
Grilled cheese might sound good, but you got to make the grilled cheese sandwich.
Maybe you got to shred the cheese. Like, it feels like, I mean, I don't know. If it's just a Kraft single dude and some toast, it takes 10 seconds, but.
You're saying like a piece of toast and like put some, you can have like a piece of toast.
What's the most you've ever spent on a single fast food trip, by the way?
Like for me?
Fast food?
For anybody. You're buying for the group, college, whatever. They drop $200 in
Like
Taco Bell, man.
$50 for a group of people. That's it.
$50?
Like a McDonald's run back in college or something. Yeah.
And they're still like hitting you back with some cash, probably.
Yeah, that was before the Venmo days, even. I think. I don't know if Venmo was around when I was in college. I don't know what we did to. I don't even remember.
You just settled up later?
I don't think we had.
You buy
Am
a
I
12-pack of
wrong?
beer?
I don't think Venmo was a thing when I was in college. I could be wrong.
We were in college at the same time, even though we're different ages.
Age, yeah. Do you remember Venmo? Like,
I don't think so. No, I think I just carried cash more.
Yeah.
I was also working in a cash business then, so it was just.
That's why that IRS guy keeps texting in.
Somebody just says like a lunch meat sandwich, just like turkey or ham or whatever, just like a.
What, a damn Lunchable?
Just a white bread sandwich, you know, nothing crazy.
Somebody said they passed out making so many pizzas in college.
Just burnt to a crisp.
Someone said they spent $183 at Quick Trip last week for a group.
What?
What was the order?
Is gas included?
Yeah, the gas doesn't count.
Is
gas does not count.
I gotta see the receipt. $183. How many energy drinks did you buy?
How many 6-pack? It's gotta be like 12 packs.
Dude,
you know,
taquitos are like 2 for $3.50.
Or like subs.
How the hell do you get to $183?
I don't know.
I mean, I love Quick Trip. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know what the total would have
still.
been, but there's a couple times, like when we were in high school, I guess, some of my friends would be like, yo, you want to go to like IHOP? And it's like midnight. You want to go to IHOP and have some pancakes.
Went to Perkins a lot in high school, like 1 in the morning.
But it was always like you take care of yourself. It wasn't a come together and just paid. So I would assume it was in the hundreds for the IHOP because we'd have like 15, 20 people.
I mean, it's getting nuts. Wide Out over on Twitch said, most I spent last week at Culver's. He said it was $135 for me, the wife, and 4 kids. I'm like, 6 people is $135? Everyone must have gotten shakes.
What?
Everyone got the big meals.
Everybody got concrete mixers too.
Yeah, $135?
No way.
That had to do with ice cream, right?
No way.
Somebody
like
said
what?
There's somebody
$135 divided by 6. That's $22 a person.
So they definitely got shakes.
I mean, they definitely had to get shakes.
Somebody said they spent $54 on 3 subs at Quick Trip, or somebody they saw.
A guy last night spent
$54
on
3 subs. $18 for a sub?
What did you put on that? It's Quick Trip. I've gotten food at Quick Trip. I don't think it's $18 for a sub. What are you putting on that thing? No way. That seems nuts.
By the way, the answer to our question about the $183 at Quick Trip, that $183, 14 people, they're going to play softball. They had to buy a case of water, beer, energy drinks, ice, and snacks. So,
and they had to look. You got to get a look. If you're with no gas, you're dropping $183.
If you get above 10 people,
or you're buying cigarettes. Cigarettes are pretty expensive.
If you get above 15, if you get above 10 people, though, if you think about it, per person, $183 would be $18. It was 14, and we're talking about beer and stuff too. You can talk yourself into it.
Okay. Somebody said $45 for me just at Poncho's. They opened Poncho's. You ever been there?
Heard
it
of
is
it,
a
never been.
drive-through Mexican place. It existed it's off of like Main and I don't know, 30, like I guess south of 39 or north of 39th Street. It's open 24 hours a day. They just opened one around the corner from my house.
That's dangerous
They
for you.
opened up a second location.
That's dangerous for you.
Used to like going on the way
That's
back
a little
from
dangerous.
Webster House.
That's a little dangerous for you.
I'll tell you right now, if at any point I'm coming home from one of these playoff games at 11 o'clock, watch out. Because that will be the stop. That will be the place I stop at. It's bad for probably bad for the Taco Bell not far away.
I was just going to say, that Taco Bell across from Kaufman, man, they're about to make some more money this month than they normally do. It's been 10 years.
It's going to be a good quarter.
It wasn't at home, but my wife and I made one of those like little runs. At midnight, we went to Jack in the Box real quick.
It happens sometimes.
Jack in the Box and Scooby-Doo, man, that is the kind of night.
We did watch a little bit of Scooby-Doo yesterday.
There you go.
we did not. When I went home, when we left in game one, did not go home to watch Scooby-Doo. We did not watch.
What'd you guys do?
We went to the Legends, to the outlets, and walked around for a little bit. Watched the.
Wait, hold on. You left.
Watched the end of the Royals game. Went to Legends.
Yeah, you left the Royals game on Tuesday night to go shopping at the Legends. Drew,
wife's in charge, man.
That's
what I
hear. That's what I hear.
And it's not like I just I deceived the Royals by not paying attention. I saw that they won. I saw that they kept it 1-0.
All right, up next, guys, let's talk some fantasy football briefly with Paul Charchian of GuillotineLeagues.com, and then we get right back into the Royals and what basically cannot be sustainable throughout this series against New York. See if you guys agree next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Wouldn't you like to save a couple minutes and not have to rush every single morning putting in your contacts? Doesn't have to be that way anymore. All you got to do is find out if you're a candidate for LASIK, vision correction procedure, like I was over at Dury Vision. 913-491-3330 or online at duryvision.com. You could just wake up and start your workday refreshed, clear-sighted because of LASIK. It has been incredible to just wake up and see every single day now. I don't need contacts. I don't need glasses. It has been the best decision I've ever made. And I trusted the folks over at Dury Vision because they've been doing it since vision correction procedures were around. In fact, their staff has performed over 65,000 vision correction procedures. They're simply the best in Kansas City. I trusted them with my eyes. You should as well. You just got to schedule that free consultation. You can do that online at duryvision.com or give them a call at 913-491-3330 and even conduct that consultation over Zoom if you need to as well. Just call them up, go online, and tell them Gold from 96.5 The Fan sent you.
Kansas football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, MGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings, located off 105th in Metcalf and Overland Park, Friday, October 4th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m., celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Light. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
For more, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here now on 96.5 The Fan, telling you guys about my friends over at Window World. Window World is the official window of the Kansas City Chiefs. Pick up the phone right now and call Window World today at 816-799-0820 or check out the website, windowskansascity.com. And remember this, when you call Window World, be sure to mention that you heard this on the drive with me, and you'll be entered into a drawing for 4 Chiefs tickets during the upcoming season. You know they got some big games, and you're going to want to be there. So call my friends over at Window World. They're offering right now 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. In over 20 years of business, Window World has improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 54,000 homes right here in the Kansas City metro. Check out the website, windowskansascity.com. Pick up the phone today at 816-799-0820 for a free home estimate. Call to be entered into a drawing for 4 Chiefs tickets. Remember, Window World, simply the best for less. And the official window of your Kansas City Chiefs.
The best of the best event at Peter's Clothiers is this Friday and Saturday only. Select from the best designers in the world, such as Samuelson, the best value in custom clothing. Also, custom Zania cloth, the best fabric for sports coats. Come in to Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line. Join the fans Cody and Gold tomorrow as they broadcast live from Community America Credit Union off 135th and Black Bob in Olathe. Take photos with Chiefs cheerleaders and Casey Wolf. Score some Chiefs gear and tickets to Monday's Chiefs game. All at Community America's Black Bob location in Olathe.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, at T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
24 monthly bill credits. Eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Listen to the Chiefs and Saints game on Monday Night Football with pregame starting at 4. Kickoff just after 7 with Mitch, Danan, and Kling. Right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM. HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey sports station.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold, 1 o'clock hour on a Thursday here in about 15 minutes. We'll get right back into the Royals and whether or not this offense can keep hitting like this and still advance. That's the conversation we'll have in just a little while. But let's talk some fantasy football. Week number 5 already, Paul Charchian, our fantasy football guru from Guillotine Leagues and FantasyLife.com, joins us thanks to Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. The AL Central's looking pretty good. I know your Twins aren't part of the party. Sorry about that.
It's so toxic here that by the end of the season, the Twins, the fans had started an organized effort to urge people not to go to the ballpark.
Oh, wow.
And this is for a team that in late August had a 95% chance of making the playoffs, and they tanked so hard And ownership was so resistant to adding any payroll that the fans here have completely turned against the organization. So it couldn't be more toxic here, which is ultimately what has helped the Royals. Okay, well, last thing on baseball, and I don't follow it that closely. So could the Royals have beaten any other opponent other than Baltimore?
With scoring 2 runs? Maybe not.
Right.
Not in this round, but,
Probably not.
Starts fresh next week, or starts fresh on Saturday. Plus, Charch, I'll let you speak for the entire nation, You speak for the country in this moment. How sick is everyone of Kansas City sports,
It'd be nice to talk about a different city for a while, especially your football team. Man, always something. How about Mama Rice?
I saw that.
Porch pirate wearing your kid's jersey.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Talk about some of the dumbest thinking of all time. And then
who doesn't like hot to go though?
Yourself. Then to Instagram yourself in the jersey you commit the crime with.
Yeah, that wasn't good, Charge. Saw that come across on TMZ. Yeah,
can't make it up.
No, let's get to some fantasy football though. I guess there's some Chiefs tie-in with this too. But Tyreek Hill, we know the quarterback situation down in Miami is a mess, but I thought Mike McDaniel would still find a way to let Tyreek Hill, really explode down there. Not the case.
No, it's been a disaster. I did too. I did too. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago when the injury first came down. So there was that week 1. Tua played that whole game. Tyreek Hill was wide receiver 3 overall that week. And here's his finishes since then. Wide receiver 48, wide receiver 49, and wide receiver 46. It is, and it's trending worse. The offense, the Miami offense last week down to 78 passing yards and only 184 total yards. So is Tyreek Hill benchable outright at this point? So Alex and Cody, you know what's going to happen. If you do bench him, he's going to rip off one of those plays where he breaks 6 tackles, he stiff arms a back judge, and then forward flips into the end zone. And because that's what he can do. You know that'll happen if you bench him. But the right answer for 3 straight weeks has been benching Tyreek Hill. And they're going right back to Tyler Huntley again, which I don't totally understand. I mean, it begs the question, if Tim Boyle is somehow worse than Tyler Huntley that we saw last week, why is Tim Boyle even on your roster if he's worse than Tyler Huntley? It's New England this week. They've got a great pair of cornerbacks. It's a bad team overall, but they got Christian Gonzalez. They got Jonathan Jones. Those guys are good. They give up 23 yards per game and 35 yards per game. So Tyreek Hill is no safe play. I've got him. I'm looking at my rankings right now. I should have had this ready right off the top. I have him as wide receiver 36 this week, which puts him in the danger zone about guys that you would necessarily start.
George, I know you're better at fantasy football than me, but sometimes desperation calls for it. I had already bid on DeAndre Swift last week, needed to start him in a guillotine league in which all of my players were injured because I had Isaiah Pacheco and Christian McCaffrey. So suck it, you were wrong. DeAndre Swift is a star, apparently. What the hell happened there? How the hell? You were saying to cut him. What happened?
I know. Well, look, okay, first, last week I told you, I gave you all the metrics about DeAndre Swift that basically backed up the notion that Swift was the worst running back in the NFL, the worst starting running back in the NFL. And just the eye test and then all the metrics. And I'm like, look, they got to make a change. At some point, they got to go to somebody else. And there was a bunch of talk in Chicago that they were going to give Roschon Johnson a long look and maybe even the starting job. So, of course, what happens? DeAndre Swift gets the start, looks amazing from the get-go, holds the job, and has the best game that he's had in Chicago by a mile, even with Tevin Jenkins getting knocked out of the game. And I look like a moron. And sometimes I just am a moron. So I guess it adds up.
I think it's just fantasy football in a nutshell, though, man. You can make all the what's seemingly right decisions, and they're always wrong somehow.
I'm glad it worked out for you. Sometimes desperation is really the cure. So I'm glad it worked out.
We're talking to Paul Charchian of Guillotine Leagues and FantasyLife.com. He's presented by Twin Peaks Eat, Drink, Scenic Views. Here in Kansas City, we all know another injury at the wide receiver spot, Rashee Rice. Even if we don't know the actual injury yet, it's not like he's returning anytime soon, if he returns at all. But then Travis Kelce in that game, they needed him to step up. He did. Is he now going to return fantasy-wise to a player you can count on?
Well, I'll be interested in your opinion on this. Mine is, when you take away your offense's best receiver, I don't think good things happen. I think it's all bad things that happen. Rashee Rice was required, mandated special defensive attention. And you love that because it contorts defenses from playing the way they want to play to having to play to stop Rashee Rice. Now defenses get to play in the schemes that they want. And that also means they're just going to be able to pound more defensive attention on Travis Kelce and make the Chiefs beat you with somebody other than Rashee Rice, who's not playing, and Travis Kelce, who you're going to take away. So, I would, that's how I would beat the Chiefs. I'd be like, okay, go beat me with Watson and Juju Smith-Schuster and Sky Moore. And if you can, God bless you. I'm not letting Travis Kelce beat me. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Even though we know that they're going to want to send more passes to Travis Kelce, I think defenses are going to largely neutralize him. What do you think, guys? I mean, you're as close to this as anybody. I'm not optimistic.
I agree with what you're saying in terms of how defenses are going to approach it, but I think we saw a little bit in that Chargers game. So some of those same underneath kind of crossing routes, that's where Rashee Rice was also thriving, and he's just a younger, faster player, so he's able to get open quicker. I think Travis Kelce, the issue for them is going to take longer for the route to develop because he's 34 years old, but I think those routes are still going to be there. So I expect now Travis Kelce to put up numbers for the time being. My concern is more week 15. Is he still able to do it? Is he still doing it come playoff time if he's worn out? But I actually think the next couple weeks you're going to see the production.
I hope you're right. I know we need, and frankly, fantasy managers need Travis Kelce to be the old Travis Kelce. He's now gone, and we know his playoff run was way better than his regular season from last year, but we've now gone 11 straight regular season games without a touchdown. 11.
Wow.
It's a long time in NFL.
Charge, somehow tonight's game has some of the most fascinating fantasy decisions I think you can have. Because for starters, Bucky Irving, a guy, like some people were smart enough to take late in some drafts, he's now officially in a timeshare, but maybe more. What do you do with Bucky Irving? Is he going to be the full-time starter in the next 2 weeks?
He looks good. Get this. Bucky Irving is running back 6 in avoided tackle rate. Oh. And right now we're up to, by rush attempts up to last week, it's a 50-50 split with Rachaad White, who is struggling a lot. White sitting at, I believe, 3 yards per carry, right in that range. Irving, and we love touchdowns. This is fantasy football. We love touchdowns. Get this from last week. Irving had a carry from the 3-yard line. He had a carry from the 2-yard line, scored a touchdown, but had it reversed on review, and then they gave it to him again at the 1-yard line, and he scored. And Rachaad White last week never touched the ball in the red zone, run or pass. So the money plays are starting to lean towards Bucky Irving, and we might be seeing a situation where this might flip to like 60-40 Irving, and Rachaad White's role really becomes much more of a pass-catching role. And that change could be happening right before our eyes, and we might see that tonight.
Staying with the backfield, how about in Atlanta? We all know about Bijan Robinson, what he's capable of, but suddenly Tyler Algier is also just getting way more run.
He is, and he looks good. I think it's fascinating.
Was it Arthur Smith right, Church? I mean, I hate to say something like that out loud.
I know. We vilified Arthur Smith last year for how he used Algier and Robinson. I think he was right. And by the way, look at what Arthur Smith is doing with the Steelers and Justin Fields right now. We might owe Arthur Smith an apology.
Oh, no.
Let's talk Tyler Algier for a second. So I'm going to give you his NFL ranks among rushers with at least Tyler Algier's 27 carries. In yards per carry, Tyler Algier is 3rd in the NFL. Bijan Robinson, 29th. Yards after contact, Algier is 3rd. Bijan Robinson, 33rd. Avoided tackle rate, my last stat for you. Avoided tackle rate, Algier 14th, Bijan Robinson 31st. I believe if you did not know the names and the draft status of Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson, and you just looked at the tape of how these guys run, and I said, Cody, Alex, what should the timeshare be between Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson? I think if you just watched the tape and took the other stuff off the table, I think you'd say this thing should be a 50-50 split.
Yeah, honestly, I think you're probably right. And I hate it because Bijan coming out of the draft, but that's the entire Falcons motto. Look, I liked Kyle Pitts coming out of the draft too, and I don't like
overrated. My goodness.
There are no good tight ends in fantasy. I mean, it is a horrible, nightmarish hellscape for tight ends. But like even then, can we still consider getting rid of Kyle Pitts? He can't get in the end zone.
I say we just drop Kyle Pitts altogether. In the history of the fantasy football industry, which I've been in for a long time, I don't think we as experts have ever been more conclusively and extensively wrong about any player more than Kyle Pitts. You know, when he entered the draft, we loved his prospects, and then we suffered from massive confirmation bias when the Falcons picked him at pick number 4. And then we spent 3 years of middling stats blaming Arthur Smith. But look where he is today. He's 19th among tight ends in yards. He's 27th in receptions, and especially in the guillotine format, which I know you guys love and play, where dud games end your season, starting Kyle Pitts is as dangerous as attending a PTA meeting at Diddy's house.
Oh, jeez. He went there. He went there. Paul Charchian.
Doesn't get more dangerous than that.
Leagues.com, fantasylife.com. We'll leave it at that. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you next week.
On that note,
that's
we're
a
out
perfect
here.
note to eat on.
Thanks, Charch. Yeah, Paul Charchian. He
I think
joins
that's
us
a good way to end it, you know? Gotta get the hell out of here, Charch.
Scenic views. Yeah, it was time to end the interview anyway. Thank you, Charch. Appreciate
Felt especially that way, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I told you, even though I was bought in for years, I'm off the Kyle. Before the season, I was off the Kyle Pitts bandwagon.
We had a conversation.
I had to leave.
I said
I had to leave. It was time.
This is one of those where I will say
I was a year
for
behind,
a couple years I've been saying he was overrated, and everybody said, "Oh, the quarterbacks have sucked." At some point, it's a you problem, and it's a Kyle Pitts problem.
I know, but I just sometimes we all come around a little bit slower on either the good or the bad.
Mm-hmm.
On this one, I came around a little bit slower, but I'm just letting you know I'm there. I will never draft Kyle Pitts on a fantasy team I ever possess ever again. And I won't ask for the Chiefs to trade for him in the middle of the season this year.
Thank you. Yeah, that was your other thing. I forgot. That was your...
I wanted him on the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no. Yeah,
I
you
think
said
he might have a real problem of... I don't think the reports are, and I think this might be true, I don't think Kyle Pitts really likes playing football. And I think that we undervalue that. That's
my favorite media take when people struggle now. A lot of people use he just doesn't like playing.
I don't say that very often. I don't know that I've said that about a player.
You haven't,
but
it's
some of the reporting is that because they were taking from Kirk Cousins' comments in the offseason when he's like, I got to convince him that doing all these little things are important and this is why practice. I think he might not maybe not dislike football. He might just not be a grinder. You know, and the guys who have a lot of success in this league, like Travis Kelce or others, depending on the position, they work their ass off 24 hours a day and never stop. And I'm thinking maybe Kyle Pitts isn't. Either way, I'm off
if you think about it, too.
Either way, I'm off it.
His whole life, he's probably just been the far
better than
superior
everybody.
athlete where he's just better than everybody. It just comes natural. He's just that much more gifted. Where he gets to the NFL, it's the best of the best, and all of a sudden, getting 8 yards for 90 or 8 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns is not nearly as easy.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, I'm not saying it's that, but yeah, sometimes your God-given athletic ability is not enough anymore. You got to work for it. That's probably what happened to the Orioles anyway. You know, they're probably just trying to go off.
They didn't want it back. They didn't love it anymore.
They didn't love it anymore. The Royals did. You could tell that. They definitely loved it. But I think we're all asking that, we're excited. We're celebratory. Can't wait for the Yankees on Saturday. You can hear it right here on your home for the Royals. 96.5 The Fan. Then on Monday, you can hear the Royals on the Fan AM over at 610, and then the Chiefs on 96.5 The Fan because we're the home for both the Royals and the Chiefs right here on your all sports station. But with all the optimism, there is still a very real question, right? I mean, it's pretty simple. Can you hit like this and still win baseball?
Yeah, and that's my biggest question I have going in. I know they just won a series winning 1-0 and 2-1. I don't believe in a 5-game series against the New York Yankees, if you think they're taking these first 2 or one of the first 2 games, I don't believe they can score only 3 runs combined in 2-game stretch of the series.
Bert disagreed with us.
I know he did. I think a lot of people might. It's funny, now we've flipped on the other end. At first it was like, you guys are too optimistic, and now I'll get a text
Haters.
that says I'm hating. But that's the beautiful thing.
I wasn't too optimistic when they made it all the way to the ALDS.
I just don't believe. So I think the pitching is going to continue being great, but I don't believe they can get by with scoring 3 runs in a 2-game window throughout this series and win 3 total games. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they can't get the offense going. But I will be very surprised if we're sitting here on Wednesday going into Game 3 and you tell me, oh, yeah, the Royals are up 2-0 or they split and they've only scored 2 or 3 runs. I just would be really, really surprised, considering the ballpark they're going to be playing in. And, frankly, just like the Yankees offense, maybe the bats are cold on Saturday night, but at some point you're not keeping the bats down probably the whole series. So I just don't know if you're going to be able to win through 3 games that are 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. Those kind of games throughout the entire series. They just did it against an Orioles team that was not playing good baseball and an Orioles team that simply is not as good as the Yankees either.
I'm with you. I really don't think they can get away with winning 1-0, 2-1 in multiple games against the Yankees. But I'll say 2 weeks ago, I'd have said it's a 0% chance. You're not winning a playoff series against the 0.00000% chance you're beating the Yankees that way. Now it's like 5-10. I mean, it's something. It's not 0 for me. I don't think that's the way to go about it. And I don't think you're going to win those games. I wouldn't predict you to win the games in that fashion. But if the starting rotation is going to continue to be as dominant as it's been all season long, and all of a sudden no one in the bullpen is going to give up a run, I can't say 0%. You had pointed out the stat earlier. It's been 3 weeks. In the last 2.5, 3 weeks, the Royals have given up a single run, 1 in the bullpen.
Yeah, and like 14 or 15 hits. That's it.
Yeah, only team in the playoffs who is yet to give up an earned run in any game. And I get it, they played 2, but everyone played 2. There's only one team tonight who's heading to Game 3 of the wild card series. So it's not 0. I would feel a lot more comfortable, I'll tell you, if you could just promise me the offense is going to come back together.
Oh, sure. If the offense gets going, they're winning this series, no question.
The question is, do you think they're close? Because Bobby's working, Vinny's back, and it's already working, seemingly. 2 hits yesterday, a pair of walks in the series. So he's got 2 hits and 2 walks in the series. Oh, okay. Massey hit the ball well in the series, so there's 3. Salvy's still not getting hits. Some of the balls are hit hard. He had an almost home run in Game 1 that was hit pretty hard. Would have been a home run about half the Major League Parks, not the one they were hitting in. Would have been a home run at Yankee Stadium. So, like, maybe? Do you sense that, like, the offense is coming, or are you still just being like, I'll believe it when I see it?
Yeah,
I think I'm on the latter, sadly.
So I think Bobby's going to keep doing what he's done. I think it's a good sign that Vinny still doesn't have that many bats under his belt post-injury, and yet you can already tell he's starting to see the ball pretty well and is getting closer himself.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he hits a home run in this series against the Yankees. I think he's getting closer. I got to see it, though, overall for the entire lineup. And so much to me of this offense having a chance to break out is Salvador Perez related. And we've seen him go through these kind of strings of ABs that are rough to watch at times. And then all of a sudden he gets hot. And the Royals bats, like a lot of teams, usually perform well in Yankee Stadium. And I think, and also I haven't checked the weather in New York. I know the weather here is going to be nice in New York. It's not like it's 40 degrees yet. I don't believe in New York. I could be wrong.
I mean, this time of year, it could change kind of quick, but yeah, I don't think
you're in that, which means there's still the
70s
opportunity.
and 60s.
Yeah, so that's nothing. That's fine. I don't think that's not going to impact the offense. It's certainly not going to hold down the Yankees offense. So I expect to see some offense, hopefully, at least warm up a little bit to where you're not having
you're getting 4 runs,
having just 1 run a game, because we all agree, like text line, we all agree that the starters are great, the bullpen is playing sensational. I'm just saying,
win every game, only scoring
I don't
2
know
runs.
if they can win 3 games in this series doing the exact same thing that they just did. That's
Tomorrow
all I'm
the
saying.
high is I'm sorry, not
Offensively.
tomorrow. Saturday the high is 73 in New York with a low of 67, so pretty nice weather. Monday high of 80, low of 73. So they're going to get 2 and sunny for both, like 10% chance of rain in the area. So I mean, it's going to be pleasant. In case it's going to be nice. I told you I like the cold weather. I like the fall weather for my baseball, but I can't complain because the Royals are actually
if they
playing.
keep advancing, we'll eventually get that. If we get
It's
to
been
the
unseasonably warm, I would say. Don't you think?
I don't know. Is that true? I'm not sure. Like
It has to be. Do you ever remember being like 85 degrees in October? The high's like 90 degrees today.
Get Brian Busby on the phone. Let's find out. I don't know.
I don't have Brian Busby's number.
I don't know.
I guess Dana and Parks do.
Yeah.
They got like a thing. Maybe we can. I don't have a regular weather guy.
We don't have one right now. We are actually. By the way,
market.
if you're a local meteorologist and you listen to the show, please reach out. We would love to have a meteorologist on speed dial for this show.
For just any purpose.
I know we have a hurricane.
The guy who gave us the hurricane shirts.
He came up to us a couple weeks ago at a remote we were at. We were at Rally House, and he's like, and he was wearing the shirt. And he's like, "Do you remember?" And I go, "I remember. Oh yeah, I still have the shirt. Absolutely." It's hurricane season too, obviously. So he's busy.
That dude flies planes into hurricanes.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Dude, I thought it was dangerous to skydive. Just wait.
Because there was a report, because there was flight tracking, that somebody flew directly into the eye
that was a private
of Helene,
plane.
and I didn't know. I'm just checking to see if this is our guy.
He actually no. They would know that he works for what's the I don't have the T-shirt with.
It's like a special military group. They fly like.
Oh, okay.
They're trained.
Stealth jets.
What you're talking about was a screenshot, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, this private jet flew right through the eye." They looked, and it was at 40,000 feet or something, so it was above the storm.
Yeah,
but yes, I know exactly the screenshot you're.
I was wondering if
talking
that was the guy you were talking about.
Yeah, but yes, flying through hurricanes is that's wild.
It's bold.
I don't think I'll be applying for that.
You think a little turbulence is bad on your Southwest flight?
You're not going to apply for that, but you said you would live on Mars for 6 months?
He said that. You did say that.
I did say that. Slightly different jobs, dude. Also, no one's ever lived on Mars
Somebody
before.
just sent me Brian Busby's number.
Sweet. Get him on
You think
next.
it's less risky to live on Mars for 6 months?
I don't say less risky.
There's no way it's less risky.
But,
There's
it's
no
way
way.
cooler. You get the cool factor.
Yeah, but you may not come back home.
The cool factor.
In fact, I don't think you can come back home.
Well, you can come back home eventually. They just grab those astronauts off the space station. It'll be fine.
Have they done that? The ones that have been
thought that
stuck
the
thanks
rescue
to
mission was
Boeing?
coming.
Has that happened? The ones that have been told they got to hang
I
up
saw
there
them
a little
giving
bit-
hugs and stuff. I thought they
They're
got
back?
rescued.
I mean, that's great news if that's true.
Yeah, that's on the space station, though. We're talking about Mars.
I'm aware.
I don't think if you're
I
taking the
don't
trip
know.
to Mars, Cody, you're coming. That's a one-way trip. That's a one-way
You're
trip,
stuck there.
I believe. They have rovers they send up there. I think if that's a one-way trip to Mars, man.
Maybe. We'll get to that later.
All right, up next, we'll get to what's trending and then talk a little bit more about where Bobby Witt Jr. has put himself in terms of historical implications with his playoff run and what Matt Quatrero is doing so far this postseason.
Cody and Gold.
I didn't sleep well. I was drunk.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5, The Fan.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
An opportunity for you. Plus, by driving for one of America's busiest carriers, you'll stay busy throughout the holiday season and into the new year. Don't wait. Search jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
The Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. By legalizing sports betting, Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
We interrupt with a special report from the Missouri Lottery. With a new millionaire every 8.1 days last year, there's no shortage of Missouri Lottery winners. However, there is currently a shortage of confetti. This may impact all confetti-related activities, hullabaloos, whoop-de-doos, jamborees, shebangs, and any and all festive goings-ons. Rest assured, Missouri Lottery winners will receive a single confetto with every big win for the time being. We apologize for the shortage, but not the winning. Thus concludes this report from the Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome. Play responsibly.
This year, FanDuel is giving you a chance to win big every Thursday night with FanDuel Squares. It's the same Super Bowl squares you've always known, but this time much better. That's because your numbers aren't randomly assigned. You get to pick them yourself. You can pick as many numbers as you like. You'll get to see the odds beforehand, and you can bet them live during the game. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/CDOT, use my promo code, and bet on Squares. Plus, if you're new to FanDuel, you'll get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. Visit FanDuel.com/CDOT, use my promo code, and if you're new to FanDuel, you'll get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. So what are you waiting for? 21 and present in Kansas. Full price of NFL Sunday ticket will automatically be charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Outback presents Andrew Santino, Free Speech Tour, Saturday, October 5th at the Midland Theater.
She was a single mother. She would let us steal. She'd be like, take it, take it. When we get caught, she'd be like, Andrew, get over here. And then we'd get out of earshot, and she'd be like, you got to hide it better, buddy. You know that. Remember dinosaurs? Pretty good thing they're not around anymore. Dude, leave the show tonight. You'd be like, fun show. Yeah, we had a good time. All right, goodbye. Go, 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 go.
Get in! Get in! Tickets on sale now at AXS.com.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
It takes a lot to prepare for game day as a dedicated fan, and preparing the perfect tailgate meal might be most important of all. That's why Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise is the MVP. Hellmann's Mayonnaise is the secret to bring out the rich and creamy taste to all your game day dishes, from buffalo chicken dip to your favorite sub sandwich and everything in between. So give it a try, and mayo game day be delicious with Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise. Shop at your local Walmart, Kroger, or grocery store, and add some extra deliciousness to your game day dishes this football season. again.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Circa Resort and Casino when KC travels to Vegas. Calling all KC football fans to Vegas. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October as we huddle up at Overhang Bar, catching some of the game day action at the world's largest sportsbook or lounge at Stadium Swim. Book your experience today. Visit circalasvegas.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. What's trending?
Number one on What's Trending, of course, the Royals on to the ALDS. It'll start in New York on Saturday night. 5:38 first pitch. And yes, as Vern pointed out, military time, 17:38.
That seems
of course
just
it is.
wildly
of course it is.
appropriate.
That game will
if
be
Drew
right
did
here.
not know, Fetty Wap was a big thing, Drew, back in 2015 for the Royals.
Fetty Wap is like was like the jam.
Trap Queen.
Back. Oh yeah.
That was it was like a whole theme around this team at this time.
Yeah.
So like they would like
memories.
adopt it. Oh yeah. Dude, there's people in this town who have 1738 tattoos on their body because of the Royals.
You should go search Google. Just Google Royals 1738 and you'll see Drew. Kind of get a little background on it.
My wife and I bump Fetty Wap all the time. All the time. Still.
The Royals players once fined each other $1,000 a player if they didn't mention Fetty Wap in postgame interviews.
Yeah, they would try. Nobody knew it at the time, though, at first.
No, we didn't.
And so they would randomly be like, yeah, the last 1738 games or 1738 pitches. You're like, what are you talking about? But
as soon as Vern tweeted it, I was like, he's got to be talking about Fetty Wap.
So the game Saturday and throughout the entire postseason right here on 96.5 The Fan Saturday. Now on Monday, because, of course, we've got a heck of a Monday night showcase. The Chiefs pregame is going to start at 4 o'clock here on 96.5. The Royals will be on 610 The Fan AM. Just on Monday. That's because of the Monday Night Football sports extravaganza, if you will.
We're your home for both. We're going to give you both. Next up on What's Trending, Rashee Rice update. He was in the Chiefs locker room today. He was seen walking pretty well, according to Nate Taylor. Considering his circumstances, is how he put it. He did have swelling around his knee. He is not expected to see the specialist in Dallas until early next week to determine the severity of the injury. So I guess there is still maybe some optimism for some out there that, hey, he's walking, we'll see. Really, it's a wait and see. We don't have any real answers, I guess, on Rashee Rice. We thought by now we'd know that it was a season-ending knee injury. We have to wait a few more days to find out where that knee is early next week.
Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, there is still a Game 3 taking place tonight. We'll find out if the Mets or the Brewers will advance in the National League Wild Card. Series tied, obviously, one game apiece. That game in Milwaukee, a little after 6 o'clock tonight on ESPN. And then on Saturday, earlier in the day, prior to the Royals game, the first game will actually be the Tigers and Guardians on TBS right around noon. Then the winner of the Mets-Brewers game is going to head out to Philadelphia to take on the Phillies. That's at 3:08. And that will be before the Royals-Yankees game. And then the late game on Saturday is slated to be the Padres and Dodgers, which should be a great series.
How about the trend continue? 10 of 11 wild card series since they switched to 7 teams have been sweeps, as in 2-game sweeps in that series. And to this point, 11 of 11 have been won by the team who won game 1 of the series. We'll find out whether or not that trend continues tonight.
That is what's trending on Cody and Gold. Someone on the text line, 913-586-7965. They said, is it weird to say that I came from your boss's house? Spectre, I work for AB May. You guys are awesome.
We
At the
appreciate
boss.
it.
Yeah,
I hope
AC,
you took extra nice care of his
AC
house.
issue, something going on. AC, a little tune-up. What's going on? The heat working? We're going to find out. We can ask the boss what's going on there.
So
Well, text in. Let us know what you were doing there. Just a little tune-up, seasonal tune-up. What's going on?
Could be. A little pre-winter tune-up. That's not that uncommon. I get that done on my furnace. Haven't turned on the heat yet. Anybody turned on the heat yet?
I have not.
Oh no, it's supposed to be like 90 again.
I know. There's been a couple of mornings where it was like 50. I don't know if anyone.
Yeah, but I'm not in the morning though. I'm not
Not yet.
When I wake up, I'm not like hanging around in the morning at my apartment for like 2 hours before I go to work. I mean, it's like I let the dog out, I feed her, I take a shower, and then I'm ready. Like then I'm ready. Like
and
so,
then it's time.
so
to
I'm like
leave.
it's a little chilly.
So you're
but
under the blanket. You're in a hot shower, and then you're like, I'll take care of
it's a
this
little
later.
chilly. And the first time I step on the like laminate or whatever it is, that in the bathroom. But that's it. Like other than that, it's not a problem.
Before we get back to the Royals for just a second, this is Royals related, so I am curious. What should I do about class on Monday? What's everyone's energy here? I'm going to give everyone the setup, and then I want to know. On Monday, I teach class at UMKC.
Yes.
That class starts at 4 o'clock. It ends at, traditionally, 6:30. Sometimes we end about 6.
Perfect. The game's at 6:30. Yeah, I think you have
game's
class.
at 6:30.
Yeah.
Do I have class? Do I cancel class? Do we end class early?
End at 6.
End at 5:30, end at 6. What's everyone's energy on what I need to do on
The
Monday?
game on Monday is 6:38, right? So
well, I want to make sure I get home. I want to be sitting in front of the TV before that game
6
starts.
o'clock.
Cancel your class.
The whole class?
Yes.
His class starts at 4.
It should be a day of celebration. Watch the Royals.
It's the ALDS. I mean, this is a world.
Don't have class.
But here's the problem.
It's fine.
If I cancel class this time, there's a chance there'd be an ALCS game on the following Monday. I've now set a precedent, Drew, that I cancel class every Monday. We only have class on Monday.
No,
we have to sometimes learn.
I think, it's
or teach.
5:30 or 6 is when you end class. You end a little early. That way you still have class, but you don't cancel the whole thing.
I feel like that's my energy. Maybe have class, but end early.
What time is the class?
It is at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Till
6:30. Game starts at 6:38.
Look, if the Royals, are you able to get into the lab a little bit early before the?
I can end class whenever I want. No,
are you able to get in to the lab before your class starts?
Yes.
If the game starts at 3:38 next Monday, have a watch party for your class. You don't have to cancel class.
So you're saying if it's the following Monday.
Nobody wants to have a watch party in college at their professor's class.
And only I'm going to guess that based on.
Or you just cancel the class.
I'm just going to say, based on the energy of this classroom, there is a handful of sports fans, and I would say the rest probably don't care. So I'm not really canceling it for them. I'd only be canceling it for the small number of people in there. Someone says 1 hour class maximum. Says no one is going to that class.
I just don't. Yeah, don't have class.
Yeah, further away, but
don't have it.
For the 3 people that throughout the show have continued to text in, the game is at 5:38. Yes, on Saturday, not on Monday. On Monday, the game is at 6:38. Thank you.
Yeah,
Please.
Saturday's 5:38.
There's been like 3 people, the same 3 people that have texted in throughout the whole show.
We were talking about Monday's class. My problem is, again, if the Royals advance in this series, there's a pretty good chance they would be playing on the Monday again for the ALCS. That would likely be another evening game, which would look, if the game was at 4, no class, right? Game's at 3 o'clock, no class.
Sure.
I have to do stuff. Sorry. But because we can have like a half a class, I think we should do something.
How long?
What if I just made an assignment based on playoff baseball?
That
it's a
was gonna be my next
podcasting course.
suggestion.
Maybe I could have them watch the game and then submit.
I just think you let them out in a half hour or an hour early.
Vern's pre and post or pregame. How imperative? Like, where are you at in the semester? Are we getting like to midterm?
It's October
to
already.
Midterms about right? It's midterm-ish. I don't know.
We're not having midterms in my class.
Project. Is there a big project that's like?
Have you had to grade
on the line?
anything yet?
Yeah, I have more stuff to grade tonight. Professor Tapp's on duty tonight. Finally got a free evening. I got to grade like 18 podcasts from these students.
Is there a big project that to do?
No, they're all the same amount except for the final.
I'll be totally honest. You can
so much for that 13-page syllabus.
You could cancel both classes.
I
then.
had to put some stuff in there.
You could cancel both classes then, because I've been in classes where a lot of it all comes down to the final project at the end. You don't even have to have class.
Oh, you told us about your story. You almost got kicked out because you were arguing from college because you were arguing with your professor. They thought you were threatening your professor.
No, it was not my professor. It was the
dean of the school.
It was a liaison who was basically the assistant dean of the College of Communication.
Yeah,
that was. I was a very stressed out college student in that moment in time, and it was not my best moment.
Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot going on my last couple years of college.
Someone says, isn't this a communications class? Tell them to stay home, watch the game, and we'll discuss the broadcast next class. But it's not a broadcast class. It's about podcasting. I could assign them a podcasting assignment.
Have them do a 25-minute podcast on that.
25, dude.
That's
we're not at 25 minutes yet. We're working in 5-minute podcast chunks right now. We're working ourselves up to 10.
What is getting done in 5 minutes?
Oh, look, we got to work on the editing stuff too. I got to teach him how to like put intro music in, put sound in. Like we got to build up the length of the podcast.
So you haven't got to the content part.
No, that's
just the planning.
Yes.
Gotcha.
All right.
So if I tell them to put down 25 minutes, also 25 minutes, 18 times over, I quit this job. Grade those. I got to save that for the final, dude.
Well, you just think they're paying you to not do anything?
I can't grade 25 minutes 15 times this year. That's too long.
Drew said he'll listen and help.
How imperative?
I listened to some of them while I was doing the dishes the other day.
So take real quick. Give me a 1-minute overview of what a class is typically like for Cody
for me.
and UMKC.
Okay, great. They vary a little bit. Most recently, we're working on how to create a podcast from start to finish, and we've talked about some of the content, some of the ability to create a rundown to make that content, And now we've begun the beginning editing process. How to put sound in, how to change transitions of sound inside of that, how to add more sound elements into your podcast. So the last time we worked on that in class, they had raw audio and raw sound, and we spent time in class having them put that together for a finished piece of audio.
Text line says, it has to be said, this podcast class sounds terrible.
What? What the hell, 785? What do you mean? So that podcast should be shorter than Cody's song.
Okay, so if you want to have the class, if you feel like you have to have the class, go from 4 to 5, end at 5, give them an assignment, and just give them a heads up like, hey, if they play next week,
we're in a
during
similar
class,
situation.
we're not having class.
I think if I...
And I'll give you an assignment...
Based on that?
Based on either that, or I'll give you something
And then
to
you
do.
get to World Series games. Those could be on a Monday. I mean, if the Royals go on a run, none of this class is going to...
Just start
They already
canceling every
invited me
class,
back for next year. Or next semester. I can't...
nothing to lose.
I can't... What do you mean, nothing to lose? I still feel like they could change their mind. Somebody says guest lecturer.
I still, towards the end of the semester, I want 3 names of students for us to contact.
Who are willing to talk?
To come in studio and give us their honest assessment. Once the grades are already submitted.
So I can't
I want them to come in studio.
So I can't influence it?
And I want to get their honest thoughts on Professor Tapp's class.
This person said guest lecturers. If they're going to be giving a speech, and you're going to be sitting on your phone, Cody, at the desk just watching the Royals game over on the side. I don't think you should have class.
I'm not going to put the Royals game on the side. We will be done before first pitch.
Somebody said it's pretty obvious how important the playoff games are, considering Drew left the other day.
It's a great point.
Look, I
go shopping at the Legends.
Shopping instead of watching the Royals playoff game.
To the rest of the game on my way home. I watched the final part of it. Then we went to the Legends afterwards.
What did you buy? What did you get?
Oh yeah, did you get anything?
My wife picked up. We went to Bath and Body Works. My wife picked up an order from Hollister as well that she had for some sweatpants.
Gotcha.
And we walked around to a couple other spots.
Do you think is it too early to ask the university what their getting a TA policy is? Maybe that would speed up this process.
A teaching assistant? Oh, you need help?
Can I get a TA?
What are they paying you for, man? What are they paying you for?
What are they?
Oh, my goodness.
Just asking.
This isn't high school.
Someone says there's at least 5 UMKC athletes in your class. That sounds like an easy A class.
Are there?
You tell me, are there?
I don't think there are 5 student athletes in my class. I could be wrong.
Okay, Cody using the proper student athlete term. He's really professor now.
I don't think anybody knew this was if it is an easy A class, no one knew it yet.
Has nobody shown up?
It's got a reputation developing now.
It's the first time I've ever
Next
taught
spring, enrollment's going to be sky high for the class.
Has nobody shown up with like a duffel bag or like a UMKC soccer shirt or whatever?
No, I don't think so. I think there's more communication students than athletes in my class at the moment. I'm just asking what everyone thought. Sounds like I should have part of class, but I shouldn't go until 6:30 because that's too close to first.
You should ask the students what they want, because believe me, there are some people who would rather be in class because they're paying for it. There are people who would absolutely say you should have the class.
Yeah, I get that.
Thinking of this is no way to transition here. Thinking of class. Let's talk about Q, the master class that he put on. How about that? You like that?
Smooth.
Yeah,
you
like that?
That's very good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Let's talk about the master class
Hell of a job by Q.
that Q had yesterday with bullpen management. Obviously, results speak for themselves, and so that's going to make everything look good. But I think he's been sensational with the bullpen management. Maybe there were some other things, pinch hitter, pinch runner, that you have an issue with. It ended up working out. But the bullpen, in terms of having 5 guys throughout the 2 games of that series, that he was willing to either stretch for 4 outs in some cases or bring in on non-clean innings, Schreiber and Serpa, who was great. And of course, Urseg, you've come to expect him to be great. Bubic, he's got 5 guys to work through, and I think he's laying out him and the coaching staff laying out the back half of this game yesterday when they needed a lot of help because Lugo only went 4 1/3.
Yeah.
Was masterful. It really was. They go into the game with the plan. You have to differ from it at times, but I thought it was honestly perfect bullpen management, and of course the execution was also perfect by the players.
Yeah, I think that when you look at it, some of it is the players bailed him out, right? The players made him look incredibly smart. But, man, he had, a plan of attack. He's going half innings, 3rd innings, 2/3 innings. He was mixing and matching seemingly perfectly against Baltimore lineup. Did he get lucky that every single reliever he called in seemed to have the absolute best stuff of their life? Yeah, Zerpa striking out guys on pitches that are coming so far inside, it hit them. He broke a man's hand and struck him out at the same time to add double insult to injury. And so some of you just got bailed out. But this goes back to the same thing. I didn't understand the complaints about Q before. You and I have talked about this. A major league manager has less impact on the actual game than any other coach of the other major professional sports. Less than the NBA, less than the NFL by a mile. That one's got like leader in the clubhouse locked up, no questions. And even less in hockey, where, you know, there is some line stuff. Yeah, do lineups matter a little bit? Sure. Does who you pinch hit win matter? Sure. Does who you pitches? But most of the time it's, do they have it that day when you're calling on relievers?
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that you're making the bad decision until that guy doesn't have it that day, because you wouldn't think it's a bad decision to throw Urseg, but sometimes he might not have it. We don't know.
That's fair. And you know, Melendez getting pulled for a pinch runner that wasn't Blanco. You know, those things I think are fair criticism.
I didn't like that one as much.
The one I just saw on the text line and I saw it on social media. Can we be clear about how the challenge system works late in baseball games for a second?
They don't hurt you like in the NFL.
Someone did not like the challenges. Late, you have 2 challenges. If it's the 8th inning, you have nothing to lose by challenging, even if we all agree it was probably unlikely to get overturned. One, because you have 2, and it's already the 8th inning. The other part is we had this conversation with JJ Piccolo that basically you can ask for a crew chief review even when you're out of challenges, and usually they'll grant it. And then once you get to extra innings, unless it changes in the playoffs and I missed it,
they do it
anyway. Yeah. So there is really no risk of using a challenge late in the game. Now, you want to burn one in the first inning, I guess we could have a debate. 8th, 9th inning, who cares if they use a challenge?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It didn't feel like they burned anything by doing it, obviously, in that moment. But it's just, a lot of times managerial decisions just feel like, do the players make them look smart or do the players make them look stupid? Because I get it. You'd be like, why are you putting Paul, why isn't Paul DeYoung in there? Well, if Hunter Renfroe hits a homer, then you don't really care about DeYoung anymore, do you? But if it's the opposite and they put DeYoung in and he strikes out 3 times, now you think he's bad at doing. No, sometimes players just don't have a good game. Sometimes they do. Yesterday was the best I've ever seen him use the bullpen for a guy that needed more than 5 innings or 4 2/3 innings of play out of his bullpen. Damn sure seemed like he had every single player on the entire Orioles lineup guessing. The second he switched to the new arm, next guy couldn't get it. And he went, and we were a little scared of this. He went quick hook on Lugo. He did not let him hang himself. He went quick hook. He didn't even get out of 5 innings, Gold. If I had told you that before, typically I'd be like, maybe let Lugo get out of this trouble himself.
Would have been very worried. Now, they were starting to get some decent contact on him.
But he had just gotten the pop-up.
I think he was willing to make that hook because of what we just said. Suddenly you've got 5 guys.
And the bullpen you trust.
In the pen you trust. You know, in early August, no, I think Lugo absolutely stays out longer. It doesn't mean that they'll do the same thing against the Yankees. Let's say it's Waka that is in the 5th inning, 1 out, and he's starting to struggle. Maybe they actually leave Waka in. Who knows? I don't think it's something that's going to be the same every single time. Tomorrow we'll talk a lot more about the Yankees and Royals series in particular. We're going to actually be out at Community America Credit Union, 135th and Black Bob. Joel Goldberg's going to join us for a little fan club out there. Josh Briscoe's going to talk some Chiefs with us tomorrow on the show. So if you're in South KC or so,
we'll see you there.
Come on out there. I believe they're having some burgers being grilled, Chiefs cheerleaders, KC Wolf. It's a Red Friday in KC heading into a continued month of October full of blue as well, man. It's going to be a fun show tomorrow. Hope to see you guys there. The Drive with CDOT and Rob, they're on the air. It's coming up next.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5